Welcome back, people. What's good? Another live on the W Number podcast. It's an early one tonight, a little special for you guys. Hope everybody enjoys it. If you appreciate this content and you appreciate my podcast, please hit the like button, subscribe. You could become a member for $2.99 and support a good cause. So for everybody who's here already, what's good? Let me play this video real quick on the bottom. It's just for background. Boom. These are like military boot camps for kids down here. I'm playing it in the background because I went to a military boot camp for kids. And just to start this off real quick, somebody left a comment saying that you can't be an active duty military member and do this for kids, like work at a juvenile facility like that. So for me to be there and see this and have them tell me they're not active duty, like they're not serving to be here, they're not overseas, they're in between terms or whatever, and they volunteer to do this. You know what I mean? Like, this is something they volunteer to do. Some of them were retired, some of them were active, and whatever. But it's like, I don't need to justify or whatever, but it's like, this is what I experienced, this is my story, and this is what happened, right? So these kids right here underneath, they did the same type of shit. This is my fault. Hold on, let me skip over the boom. These kids right here are on that military boot camp type. Look at that shit. That's even more serious. That might be a little bit more serious. Like, we did definitely go through some serious shit. So the military boot camp that I went to as a kid, the first day there, so I get picked up at the Brockton Y on I believe, I was on the third floor. I was on the third floor and I was waiting with a bunch of other kids that were going, but we weren't the only kids going. Every phase, there's kids from metro area, Springfield. So this, we take kids from all over the state. Kids from all over the state come to this boot camp, and it's a pretty intense boot camp. So none of us really knew exactly how intense it would be yet. We were all just waiting. We got classified to go here, and we knew what our classifications were. So when the bus comes to get us, I think there was like 5 of us going from here, and then there was like 5 going from another place and 5 going from another place, and we had to drive all over and get them. So before the end of the day, we had drove all across Massachusetts. We drove to Springfield, we drove to Metro, but we picked most of the kids up from Springfield and the Capes detention, and so we spanned the entire Massachusetts area, right? By the time we get to Miles Standish Forest in Carver, Massachusetts, in Plymouth, this is a huge forest. By the way, the serial killer, there was a serial killer in this forest back in the day. He killed, I think it was like a couple of travelers, and it was on the news. It's a serious thing. And I believe that Josh from 23-1 actually covered something about it, right? But it was pretty crazy. But this happened in these woods here. These woods are remote, way out in the middle of nowhere, right? When you get into the woods, right when you're driving through, they give you all a book. They give you all a little booklet. And now you have to read this booklet you have to read the whole booklet. You can't take your eyes off the booklet. If you take your eyes off the booklet, they're in your face. What are you doing taking your eyes off the little booklet, you maggot? Blah, 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 blah. They're in your face screaming at you. So we're on this little van, and there's a bunch of kids. There's like 6 of us. And we're reading this booklet, and it seems like it's forever. Like I was getting car sick really bad, right? And I felt it coming. Before we got there, I puked, and it was all in my mouth, and I'm holding the puke in my mouth, and I'm like just trying not to let it go. And there's a kid next to me. His name was something with a TH, man. I forget his whole name. Let me think about that. It'll come to me in a minute. But he was from Springfield area, and he was a white kid. And I was holding my puke, and I'm like, damn, bro. And what's up, Low Red Eyes? How you doing? What's up, Bats? What's up, baby? Everybody who's here, salute. So I get as far as I can, and blah, I let it all go right on his leg, man. I couldn't help it. I puked on him before we got off the bus, like right before too. Like, we were just getting the doors open, and I just couldn't hold it anymore. And when I went to turn like that, it all just came out on his leg. And I was like, shit, whoops, my bad, bro. Already making enemies. I didn't even get through the door yet, right? So we get off the thing and they're in our face. They line us up. Get in the lawn, please. Right? They want your feet at a 45-degree angle or something. I think it's exact 45-degree angle. So you stand with your feet like this, right? Your heels together and your toes pointed out. And there's little marks on the ground where you stand with your feet. There's feet marks. And you stand in those little yellow feet marks and you don't move. You got your hands by your side. They want you to cuff your hands like this and put them by your side so that your middle finger touches the seam of your pants, the seam of your jeans or whatever you're wearing, right? And we stood there like this and they're yelling in our face and calling us maggots and little pukes and shit. And they're getting us ready and primed up for what's about to come. So immediately we're hauled off to this place called the Sand Hill. And it's like a cranberry bog, but it's got pits of sand, like big pits. And they got us crawling, doing these crawls up and down the hill for what seemed like hours, bro, right? And then they got us up on top of the sand pit doing jumping jacks, burpees, and push-ups. We got kids throwing up. We got kids just trying to quit and getting mad at the sergeants and the lieutenants and the captains and all the people that are there trying to scare us into doing what we're supposed to do. And so I didn't know what to do. I'd tell you the truth. I was kind of just going with the flow. I didn't want any smoke with these guys. Like, they seem like serious dudes, like big ass drill instructor motherfuckers, right? Like, so we did this for a long time. I threw up many times. And at the very end of it, we had to run around a cranberry bog like 4 or 5 times. And it was at least a mile. I know that, right? This was no joke. Like, this is like some legit PT. They called it PT. You'd be out on that fucking PT. You'd be doing that shit twice a day during Hell Week. You would do it early in the morning, first thing in the morning, and then you do it again at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day. But during Hell Week, it's like you run everywhere. You don't march, you don't walk. It's every single left foot you say hell, and then the right foot weak, hell week, hell week, hell week, hell week. And then when you're off that, it's youth core, youth core, youth core, youth core. And guys got in line. You know what I mean? Dudes listen. They shut the fuck up and did what they were supposed to do. But there was some tension in our barracks right off the rip. Like, it devolved. It wasn't like it stayed copacetic. Like, it got a little funky, right? So at first things were going smooth. We didn't want any smoke. We were just doing what we were told. But so the first night after we're done with PT, we get back to our, the lunchroom, right? And we're in the lunchroom and they give us shepherd's pie, right? And it's eat as much as you can in a matter of like 5 minutes or something like that. You only get a certain amount of time to eat. When you sit down, you're stuffing that food in your mouth as fast as you can go, just shoveling it in. And you can't eat until you get everybody's served, right? So like you go in a single file, everybody's marching, and you get served, and then you go to your place at the table and you stand at ease with your hands behind your back like this, like you stand up like with your hands behind your back and wait with your feet separated, like shoulder width apart, and you wait. And I've seen some good fights pop off when that type of thing happened. Like when we were all standing there waiting, I've seen some fire fights pop off. Like kids getting knocked out by big old good shaped kids. Like we were all in really good shape at this place. Don't get it twisted. Like a bunch of good shaped kids. Testosterone was pumping. Everybody was, agitated. And you got drill instructors yelling. So it got a little crazy, right? So I remember the second night we were there, we were all asleep. And I remember being so tired and so cooked from that day. And I go to sleep and I'm like, thank God, sleep came. And I got woke up, right? They come in there and all I hear is screaming and yelling. And then other kids started yelling like, oh, right? Like they didn't know what to do, right? And they hop up out of bed and I'm like, oh shit. So I jump up out of bed and now they got us in our underwear and they're yelling, get out of the barracks. Like we're all scared. We're like, oh shit, we got to get out of the barracks quick. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. Right. And we all just get in our little single file line. And we march out of the barracks and they march us out in the snow in our underwear with bare feet out onto the parade deck. That's what they call it, the parade deck. And it was like a parking lot area, but it was at least there was the snow was plowed off the parade deck, right? And they got us standing out there at attention for like 15 minutes, just standing there. And we're like, what the fuck? Fire drill, they said. It's a fire drill. Now we're going back in. We got to go back to sleep. It's like 3 a.m. We get back in, we go back to sleep. They wake us up like 2 hours later at 5 a.m. And we're back up at there 5 a.m. PT out on the parade deck doing jumping jacks, burpees, push-ups, sit-ups, sun gods. I learned a lot of the workouts that I did later on in life. I learned at this place right here because they did a lot of these different calisthenic workouts that kind of hit different muscles that really affected the muscles that you fight with, and they were real warrior muscles, like, you know what I mean? They were muscles that you use to fight and be a warrior with, you know what I mean? And that was what I was getting from all these other kids. It was just like, you got to be a warrior, you got to be a G, you know what I mean? You can't let kids get over on you. You can't take no shorts, bro. Like, these kids are aggressive. As soon as they see you taking any type of short, like if you're a victim, oh, it's gonna be bad. Like, these kids were real ruthless. Like, they would mark somebody, it was over. Think about in school when you got somebody that got bullied, and they were always getting bullied, right? It was bad, right? Those kids ganged up on them and they would fucking be aggressive and shitty people. This isn't DYS. This is Lord of the Flies territory. This is where no one gives a shit about you. You have to either defend yourself. You can't rely on any of the staff to come defend you, or you're just going to get bullied till you either, go crazy or never come back again. And I couldn't let that happen to me. So this place, I felt like I set the tone for the rest of my bid. Like, this is my second program, and I got it in, man. I started fighting and shit. And I forget exactly what my first fight was there. There was a few very good ones. I'll point out a couple of good ones that I seen other people too. So we were in the chow hall, right? We were in the eating, right? And one of the fights that I seen while we were waiting to eat. So that we were all standing there at ease, and I just got kept back in my phase because I was being an asshole in my phase. Mr. Freedom, what's going on, man? I hope everything's smooth tonight. Don't let your little brother get your phone ever again, or I'm gonna have to remove you as a mod, bro. Like, that shit got under my skin, and a lot of people were upset about that. So no disrespect. I love you, bro. You've always been a good viewer. You're always in the live and shit, and I got a lot of love for you. But just, you know what I mean? That shit was crazy. It was she was a good girl. A lot of people love her, and I loved her, and she was a good guest. So let's all be respectful to each other tonight for sure. But yeah, man, this kid was standing up here, and he had his hands like this behind his back and at ease, and something happened. And this kid Coleman, he said something to him, and the dude turned, pivoted, and hit him with a rocket and knocked him out. The blood it went right across my face, like. And I'm like, ooh, man, he got laid the bug out, right? Then another one, we were standing up there was a ramp, right? There was ramps going up into the barracks. And there was these kids that were at the top of the barracks. And I forget who it was, man. There were two kids right at the front of the barracks. And they had words or something, and I was running from one place to the other because I was on Hell Week. My phase was on Hell Week, so everybody that's in that phase goes anywhere. They run and they yell youth core, youth core, youth core. So I was running, and I look over and I seen this kid just do the same type of shit. He pivoted and hit him with a rocket, and then just started lighting into him, and his teeth got knocked, like his front teeth got pushed in. It was a good one, man. He busted him up pretty bad. When we were in our barracks, in my barracks, there was like kids, they would break the blue board wall, right? And then like little chunks of chalk would come out of the wall, and they were like fake sell it to like think it was crack to kids, like just being stupid. And someone got mouthy, and this kid hit him, boom, and his eye, it looked like it flipped inside out. Like, it was a good one, man. Not his whole eye. It was just, we were all in real good shape. But the fights that I got into, I kind of told you last night, I had the Dukes up, and there was one in the weight room where this kid we were deadlifting, and this kid tried to take the weights that I was using, and it just started in an argument, and then we ended up getting to a fight. He was from my area too. We grew up together and shit, and it was just a wicked, stupid thing. And then we ended up fighting on the streets when I got out, because he threatened me like, yeah, when I see you, I'm a raccoon your eye, blah, blah. He's he ended up passing away, but there's a lot of crazy dumbass shit that happened as kids, man. And I remember songs that stuck out to me too when we were cruising on the paddy wagon and shit. Like certain songs I listened to that like bring me back to those exact days because they're like just songs I remember listening to, and it's just fucking weird, man. Like how certain music can bring you back to a certain specific time period. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's certain songs. I think Ja Rule. There's a Ja Rule song that I can't think of the name of it. With Jennifer Lopez, and that song right there was always on the radio bumping when I was in that place, dude. So that song brings me back to that time. Absolutely, fact. But yeah, man. So I get out of there, bro. I ended up graduating from there. Like I told some of that story last night. So let's move on. Right. I ended up graduating from there. And I go to a couple of different programs and shit. And I really don't, none of them do anything for me, bro. Right. Like the DYS system's a joke. The school's a joke. All the kids just want to be gangsters. Like everybody wants to be tough and everybody's just trying to be something like, as a kid, they're emulating something they see on TV or rap music, whatever it is, bro. Right. And these kids are just doing the same shit every other kid is doing in the hood. Right. No one ever really pays attention to what they're trying to tell us or teach us. We're just hard-headed kids trying to be tough, right? So I end up getting through and I end up going, basically flunking out of every program. I didn't do it anywhere, fighting and just not listening and never going along with the program, right? And I end up in GOSS. It's a secure detention. It's long-term. It's like the maximum security detention for kids, right? It's something that you see in like TV shows. The doors, when they lock behind you in your cell, they lock. You're not getting out of there. They're heavily magnetized. So the doors, when they lock, boom, they're metal steel doors that lock behind you. And once you're in there either in a double cell, a single cell, a triple cell, or a 4-man in GOSS 2 or GOSS 1. GOSS 2 was the place I spent most of my time, but GOSS 1 was like a detention center for when you violate and you go right back in. And then you get classified and you'll either go to GOSS 2 or your program or the back to the streets or whatever. But GOSS 2 is like a long-term program type place where they send you after you've been classified and you get your sentence. And on this place, this is really where it was like gladiator school. This is where the big boys, like, this is where you get prepared for the big boys. This is like being in prison as a kid, right? This is my first time being in a hole. Like I got into fights in here and they put you in a hole. Like it's you go into a room with nothing in it. You stand up. If you lay down, if you sleep, if you do anything other than stand up, you are not getting that time counted. That time does not count towards your time in the hole there, right? So you have to stand up, right, for 8 hours, or they can do it up to 72 hours. So 72 hours means for 8 hours of those 3 days, of those 72 hours, for 8 hours of those 3 days, you have to be standing up and you are witness standing up and not laying down or sleeping or doing anything else. So if you get a 48-hour term or a 1-day term, say if you get a 1 day, you got to do 8 hours standing up. Then at 8 o'clock at nighttime, they'll bring you your mattress, and then you go to sleep. And then in the morning time, I think it's at 8 o'clock in the morning, you come out and you're off. And then you'll be in a chair facing the back wall, sitting there for most of your days until 8 o'clock at night. And then you go back to your thing, except for when you go to chow. Chow's the same type of thing in prison. You go 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But when you're there, I feel like in GOSS, the chow hall, they got good food in there, right? As kids, we used to get double portions and shit like that. And they would, on the weekends, on Sunday, they would do brunch. And for holidays, they would do special shit. So they did treat us a little better than they did in prison, right? And there was certain female staff members there that treated us much better than other like prison, things like that really cared about the youth. And then there was the clinicians that cared about the youth. There was teachers, and they were all women who wanted to make sure that the kids in there were living in some type of humane conditions or whatever. Like they really did care. There were certain people that did care, but then there was the staff members. The staff members were like COs. They were like correctional officers. They did not care if you lived or died. They would beat your head in. They will they got off on restraining people. So a lot of like fights that happened in the TV room, you were more afraid of the COs or of the staff members than you were of anything else. Those staff members were vicious, man. They could get it in, right? And after you were done, you'd be like, ah, man, you know, you're getting rug burns, you're getting your arms twisted up behind your back. Their favorite one was to grab your arm, put it behind your back, and yank it all the way up and slam you to the ground. And then after that, it was over. Like they're jumping on you, they're beating your ass, doing whatever they can to you, and to make you not want to do it for a second time, to regret doing it, basically. And they kind of succeeded in a way. They succeeded a lot of times in making people not want to fight because they were so brutal to us that we didn't want to fight each other. But I think that, you know, that steps out of the bounds of, you know, necessity or what, you know, what's right. You know what I mean? But yo, how's everybody doing tonight, man? I appreciate everybody who's here tonight. If you could just throw a little 100 in that chat, man, hit them hearts and hundreds, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share my videos, bro. Always show up to these lives, bro. Like, yeah, let's get it. So as I was in GOSS 2, there was a few people that I met were my like lifelong friends, kids that I grew up with through the system. Like my boy Rounds, my boy OKK Razy, what's up? Thank you. My boy Rounds Lorenzo, who I actually had on the channel. He was a Boston cat, real solid kid who's remained a friend of mine through my entire life. I sent him money when I went home and when I was living in Atlanta. When I was on the run after this whole stretch of time, when I was 16 and a half and I went home. Okay, Bill Green, what's good, bro? I'm going to throw that up on the big screen. You throw a W number, it goes up on the big screen, baby. What's up? So, yeah, so I remember there started to be cliques. This is when I started seeing the city kind of band up together, and you know, I seen formulations of maybe what like gangs could be like, or like crews, right? Because mine was like the Boston kids. I just naturally leaned towards chilling with these Boston kids. But the other crews were like New Bedford and Fall River and Brockton and the Cape. Because the Cape kind of, you know, we whenever we were there, we were a minority, so we would always kind of just hang out with the people that we met there. And I feel like it was the same with a lot of kids. We would all just chill with each other. But you did see in GOSS 2, where there was more aggression and these kids were getting it in more, the atmosphere was a little bit more hostile. You did see groups, you saw cliques. So I feel like my boy Soche Sok, he was a Cambodian kid, this kid Black. They call him Black now. He was one of my, you know, in my circle, this kid, Paulino Miranda. Shout out to Paulino. He's from Brockton. He was in my clique. My brother was on the tier with me for a while. We were both on GOSS 2 together. They actually let him go home early and go on vacation and kept me there longer while my family went to California, because I was just a bad boy. You know what I mean? I was just getting it in, and I was fighting the staff members at the time, and just a few things that happened. And I'll get into that in a few minutes. But yeah, that shit was rough at that time. It was, you know, at that age, I felt a little, you know, angst, man. I started seeing how you could get respect for fighting, and how being tough and aggressive made people look at you different and treat you differently. And so I'm in the cell one night, right? And my boy comes to the tier. He had been downstairs waiting to come upstairs. And I told him, I said, look, you bro, move into my cell. I got a bed open in there. But one of my roommates, he is a bully, bad. Right. So when you get in there, he's going to call you out. He's going to test you. He's going to want to fight you. So if you do come in here, just know that and just fight him. Whatever. It doesn't matter. We me and my boy that's already in here, there's 3 of us. We both fought him already. And everybody who's ever his cellmate that doesn't fight him, he just bullies them wicked bad. And the kid calls you out. His name's Barrett McVeigh. He ended up, you know, being, I think a little NG telling on some guns or something like that later on in life. But, you know, I don't want to solidify that in any type of way, you know, so, but I'm pretty, you know, whatever. So, you know, I tell him, I'm like, you know, you got to come in here and hold your own, bro. You can't come in here and make me look bad, bro. I'm vouching for you. And he's like, yeah, all right, got you. So he comes in there. This kid's name's Robert Fernandez, bro, right? He comes in there and he's like, you know, Barrett, sure enough, that night calls him out, bro. I'm like, bro, I knew it, man. I seen it coming, bro. And he called him like a bitch and all that shit. And I'm looking at Rob like, yo, this is your time, bro. This is your time, bro. You got to do it. Just don't even think, pal. I can see this is the time between you're going to do it and you're not going to do it. There's a split second there. It's either going to take too long, you ain't doing it, or you're just going to do it, bro. And the way I've lived my life is the more you think about it, the chances are the less likely it is you're going to do it, right? You got to overcome your fears. The more fears you got to overcome, the longer it takes, right? And if you have them like that, some kids got to do it quicker than others, right? But this kid didn't do it. So I'm like, man, you made me look fucking real bad, bro, just now, bro. That was some foul shit, man. So I get up and I start hooking off on him and beating him up. And I took his blankets and sheets and he starts punching the window. And now this is at nighttime. He starts punching the window. Now the window is like these steel grated windows, bro. Like there was, grates over it. It was to keep you from escaping. But it was very, very strong steel. And if you punched it with your knuckles, it was like hitting your skin on a cheese grater. And so this kid's punching this shit, dude, right? And I'm like, ooh, he's catching that thing, dude, right? But it's making some noise. So the staff comes walking down the hallway. But every time the staff gets down there, it's like hearing this noise, he stops punching it when they get there. So they just keep it moving. And then, they go away and it starts again. And we start doing it again, bro, right? Punching the window, blah, blah, blah. I took his picture of his girl or something that was there. I was being a real asshole, bro. And this is how kids were. We were very impressionable. We acted upon, the rules of the laws of respect, Miter's right, survival of the fittest. And if I wasn't doing this to him, it would look like I'm weak. Like I just let this kid in my room and now he's soft and I'm vouching for him and I didn't do nothing about it. So I punished him. And then in the morning time, we came out, bro, tell me this kid doesn't tell, bro. And he goes to the staff and he tells on us, bro. And it led to the worst, to me getting knocked out by a staff member. So there was a black staff member, right? And this kid that this happened to, he was mulatto, but he's my friend. This didn't happen for any racial reasons at all, right? Now, this staff member, his name's Miz. I forget his real name. If I knew it, I'd throw him right under the bus because he's a maggot dude, right? But he was from the hood, bro. You can tell he's from the hood. It's like, middle-aged dude, probably 35, maybe 40 years old. I was mad young, maybe 15, 16 at the time, 14, maybe even 15. No, I was 16, I think. 16 around when this happened, maybe. Just about anyways, right? So they call us all out. They're interrogating us. What happened in that room? The people across the hallway, they want to know if they saw her into the room and what was going on. They asked all kinds of people questions. And they asked me questions. I wouldn't tell them nothing. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And they were getting real mad. Like, yo, who are you trying to protect? Who are you trying to protect? I'm like, man, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And the dude was getting super mad. I wasn't cracking, bro. And I guess, man, I don't know if the other kids were or not, but they walked me down to the segregation room, right, where they're gonna keep me locked up by myself. And they walk me in there, and now because it's after 8:00 at night, there's already a bed in there. So I walk in there, and the staff member Miz, he looks at me and he goes, man, I forget what he said word for word, bro. And I don't want to say something that's not true, right? I forget what he said word for word. But he said something about being racial, like I just want to beat up some young black kid or something, like I'm just a white, like racist white boy or whatever, right? And he hit me, he knocked me out cold. He whacked me, knocked me out cold. And I was on the floor. He left me there like that. I woke up and I was like, what the fuck? My jaw hurting and shit. I just got in bed and I went to sleep. But no one came for me. No one cared. No one gave a shit. I was just, a kid got knocked out by a staff member, whatever, right? Grown ass man. But I was kind of afraid of that dude after that. You know what I mean? Like, this dude would really knock out a little kid. But like, how am I supposed to, like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, like, in a situation like that. Like, I was just like kind of frozen. You know what I mean? I was very young and this dude lit me off, you know what I mean? I just didn't know if I should go after him now. I didn't know, if I was gonna be, if that made me a punk, if I took a short or something, if I didn't do it. And I didn't want to get in trouble again because I kept on getting in trouble. So I just let it slide after that. But I always thought if I see this dude out there on the streets, I'm fucking wiping him down, bro. Like, I'm gonna give him a taste of his own medicine, especially if it was later in my life. But now I'm just like, man, screw it, bro. Who cares anyways, bro, right? But yeah, so I go through that whole system, you know, playing spades. I think spades was probably one of the coolest things about it. Like we learned how to play spades and pinochle and whist and all that. And we did that every night playing for snacks and shit. Your mother could bring up your hygiene, you could do all that shit. There was all kinds of cool shit that happened that they don't do for us now. Like we had a pool room where we could go play pool and shoot the pool ball. But if you weren't on phase, like you were sitting in a TV room watching TV for most of the day, and by the time the nighttime came, you were happy to go sit in your bed and lay down in your bed with that white blanket, like that hospital blanket, bro, right? And being in these places, this is like old hospital wings, and up above us there was the Taunton State Hospital for juveniles. There was women, there was kids, there was everybody there, right? So you had all kinds of people. You could hear them screaming in the vent and shit. I could have sworn, man, some evil stuff happened to me a couple times. Like I fell asleep and I was on my back and I felt like I couldn't breathe, like I was being pressed into my bunk. And things in the vent. Like it was crazy, bro. Like that place is mad weird. It was sketchy as fuck. But I used to like really hate being there. I had my calendar and I would mark off the days just like they were weeks, you know what I mean? And it felt like weeks, bro. It felt mad long. When you're in DYS, that time it's not the same, like, you know what I mean? But I stayed there for mad long, that whole sentence. Like I ended up getting on Thanksgiving Day, right? We were all in the chow hall. We were doing family visits. There was my friend Lorenzo's family was there. My family was there. I think my older brother was there. My mom, my father, my twin brother Ryan. It was Thanksgiving, so and it was like his whole family was there, all that. So I get called out by the psychiatrist, and I had been trying to fight to get on Adderall and shit like that, and they've been fighting me on it for a while, and I could care less, right? But I was just, I was like, the lady told me she was gonna help me get on it, so I'm like, okay, cool. I fight to get on it. She says she's gonna get me on it. I'm going in there to get on it, but when I get in there, they buck me and they're like, nah. We'll call her in here and we'll talk to her, blah blah blah. We get her in. My clinician who said she was gonna come in and help me out, so we get her in there to talk to her, and she's like, oh no, it's whatever the psychiatrist says. So I got mad. I'm like, yo, you just lied to me, bro. Like you just said you were gonna help me get back on my Adderall, and now you're fucking in here saying, oh no, bro. Like you're not even saying nothing that you told me when we were talking to each other, nothing, right? So I picked up this. There was like a baby, like it was heavy, like you could hold it. It was like a real life baby that cried and shit, but it didn't have batteries in his back, like it didn't make the noises. But I picked it up and I fucking hit the lady with it. And she got up and she's like, screamed, ran out of the room. I grabbed her papers and I ripped up all of her notes. I punched the fan that was in there. There was like a hallway fan. I punched it and I broke it. And next thing you know, there's a code being called, and everybody's family's down there in the dining room visiting each other and shit. And they're running down there. So I take the filing cabinet and I lean it over so when they run in the room, they can't get in, right? And I stand in the back of the room and I grab that little baby thing. So when this dude Ed, he was the first person there, comes running in, I start hitting him with the little baby thing and he jumps over. I'm fighting him and wrestling with them. They try to get me on my back. It takes them a minute. There's a bunch of them. There's No Neck Ed. There's a few people. I forget their names now. It's been so long, but I just remember Ed, bro, right? And they got me down on the ground. They're beating me up, bro. They end up having to take me to the hospital to get like tranquilized because I wouldn't stop. I just wouldn't stop. I fucking said, fuck it, dude. I'm not stopping. I don't give a shit. Like, do whatever you got to do. And they took me to the hospital. They brought me back. They put me in a little suicide watch cell, and I flipped out. And I made them restrain me pretty much every night for like 30 days, dude. But that shit was crazy, bro. Like that type of thing just put me. It gave me a fucked up mindset. I got a lot of shit that I got to do. This is another little piece of my juvenile story. I guess is only a certain people are interested in this story, I guess. Not a lot of people here. So I appreciate everybody who showed up, man. Anybody want to talk and we'll go over some shit. I got to do a video tonight with John. We got him coming in. Hopefully, anyway. He said he's trying his best. Let me text him right now and see where he's at. If anything, we could do an open panel. I'll drop the link in the chat. That's the link right there in the chat. If anybody wants to come in and be a guest on the show for a little bit, I'll take this boot camp thing off here, right here. Bang. And we could get people in. If you guys want to come in, be a guest, we can have someone come in, be a guest. You guys can come in, we can kick it and talk and chill. We could do whatever you want tonight, man. This is a special live. This is for you guys, bro. I just wanted to come and give you guys an opportunity to kick it and chill. And I'll just tell a little bit more of my DYS story. I told you a little piece already, so you guys can, digest that. And then we can tell a little bit more at another time because, it's a lot to take in, man. Being a kid in that place is fucked up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's what sets the tone for your whole career as a criminal. Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, Mr. Freedom. I wish more people could find me and more people recognize my channel. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of people, they'll go live early in the morning and they'll have fucking hundreds of people here. They'll go live at 2:00. They'll have hundreds of people. But why are my supporters not as strong and loyal? No, you guys are. You guys really are. The people that are here right now is so dope. I appreciate that fact. I just, like I said, I wish more people did recognize it, bro, because my channel is fire, bro. Like, my story's, real. This is actual shit that happened to me. And not a lot of people have been through the things I've been through. And the people that have, I know you relate. I know you relate. That's why you're here. You know what I mean? And the people that haven't and that are here to listen and find out, they're getting the truth. You know what I mean? They're getting the raw reality of what it's like. So it's like, in any way you look at it, this channel is legit. Hold up, K Razy. I'm gonna put that up on the screen and I'll answer it. So what's one of your more positive or funny memories from inside or from being out here on the streets? Yeah, yep, absolutely, Mr. Freedom. A lot of people in this chat are from Massachusetts. I want to answer this question, K Razy. What do you mean, a funny story from in there, or a funny story from out here? I'm gonna go with in there and inside. Okay. I feel like some of the funniest stories happened to me when I was in Bridgewater State Hospital, right? When I first went over there, my cheeks hurt because I laughed so much, right? We had people in there with severe mental illnesses. So this Haitian kid, he had like these imaginative stories. Like, I could never tell what was going to come out of his mouth. And I'm not saying like if this is real, it's funny, but like the way he said it was hilarious. But he was like, he told me he started a gang and like it was like death before loyalty and like dishonor over honor. Like, it was everything was backwards, right? And then he was like, I had to leave Haiti. He's like, I had to leave Haiti. He's like, because, they kicked me out of my country. I said, why they kick you out of your country? He said, because they got gang banged in the booty. He said, all my uncles, they lined up at the door. He said, they all gang banged me in my booty. And so they said, I have to go. I'm like, oh my God. But it's like things like that happen all the time. It was just like, you can never, like, in Bridgewater State Hospital, I had the funnest times of my life. You know what I mean? You meet people that are so unique. You know what I mean? Like, you had this one kid there. He was very, very, very mentally ill. He had like the mind of a 12-year-old. And he was like a firebug, and he would like light places on fire, but he was like, being tortured in foster homes all over the country, and he ended up there somehow. And he was just like, he would follow people around like, he was just, there was some characters, man. It was just real characters. There was this fat kid he was an athlete. He was a star athlete, and he would, like, if you told him to do something, like he went up to the staff. We were all standing in line to go to chow one day, and he got up in the cop's face and he was like, and he wouldn't leave the cop alone. He was just hooting in his face. Like, it was hilarious, but it was like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't predict what the fuck's gonna happen there. It's like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Like, we were all in the TV room one day, and the same kid, he grabbed the bag of potato chips out of another mentally ill patient's hand and just turned around and just started stuffing him in his mouth. And the staff's like, hey, give that back. He's like, hey, give that back. And he's like, oh, he's like, I can't help it. And he's just like shoving chips in his mouth and they're fucking flying everywhere, dude. That type of shit was funny. You know what I mean? So yeah, Bridgewater State Hospital was definitely one of the funniest places I've ever been. More laughs there than anywhere. I met some cool kids there too. My friend Jason Potter. There was some fun times there. Yeah. I appreciate you asking that question. That's a good question. If anybody else wants to ask me any questions, we can get into it, man. One guy, when I was there, always tried to climb the fence screaming about aliens. Absolutely, Bats. You'll get all that, right? When I seen a kid, he chased after a Canadian goose, dived on it and bit it in the neck and got charged with animal cruelty and got 5 years for that shit, dude. Yeah. Yup. That shit was crazy. And that's Bridgewater State Hospital. He climbed the tree in the yard too. That one solitary tree, and wouldn't come down. Oh, I seen a kid get naked in the gym and run out of the gym straight to the ITU butt naked. He just ran straight out of the gym to the ITU, is like the hole there. And then he just ran straight into the ITU where the cage was in the ITU and stood there. Like, the cops like, what the fuck? Yeah. That's Bridgewater State Hospital, bro. Shit gets jumping. And a lot of other funny stories happened on K2. K2, when I was in the max, K2 made people do some funny shit. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. Like, there was people that thought they were on fire. There was people that thought they were animals. People that got naked and smashed their TVs, people that thought they were in prison because they just murdered somebody and they were going to do a life bid and they broke all their property and were freaking out. I've seen a kid start making animal noises out the door going, moo, moo. He said, so what? He's like, I got a knife. He's like, I ain't afraid to use it. And he was tapping it on the window to the cops. He was in like this cell right up next to the cop's desk, and he's tapping the knife on the window, telling the cops, I got a knife and I ain't afraid to use it. And then he's going back and beating up his poor cellmate Jizz. This kid Jizz, he was like a little black dude from Cambridge, and he was a good. He wasn't Cambridge Jizz. I forget where this kid was from. He's a little young. He was a short little black dude. He was like a little dude though, like. And he was just beating on him, bro. And then going back to the window with the knife, dude. I felt so bad for the kid Jizz, but I seen this kid run down the tier. He must think of a big blast or something, right? Because you smoke out of the pipe, bro. When you smoke K2 out of the pipe, man, that shit's a whole nother experience. It's like it sets something off in your brain, dude. Like, people smoke sticks, but then they smoke the pipe. This kid smoked the pipe, and he went flying down the tier like a bat out of the hell. Then he just stopped. He looked at me and he started spinning around in circles. Like, he was going like that. And I'm like, the fuck? So now I'm thinking, what is he doing, bro? He looks at me. He's like, woo, woo, like that. And he thought he was on fire, apparently, right? And he looks right at me and just runs straight for me, dude, right? And I'm like, oh, shit. So I back into my cell thinking, if I'm going to fight this kid, I'll just do it in my cell. So I back into my cell, and he runs past me into the neighbor's cell and just starts attacking the kid. And you hear him rumbling around. He grabs the kid's TV, breaks his TV, bro. And then fucking the kid runs out of the cell, and you can see just his T-shirt. The kid had his T-shirt, so his T-shirt was holding on. And it was ripping. And the kid's, rips out of his T-shirt, runs across the tier, and he's looking in his own cell while this kid's in there breaking his property, bro, right? Then the cops run in the tier, code 99. They got to get the kid out of there. And so they run in the kid's cell, and they're trying to fight with the kid, get him out of there, dude. They finally get him on a stretcher. The kid's fighting the cops. Oh, dude, it's crazy, bro. The things that happen on K2 in that place are nuts. But yeah, those are some funny stories too. Baby, how you doing? We got a small crowd in here tonight, but I kind of like it when it's a small crowd. Best stories, man, best times, because this is the true crowd, the true crew. You know what I mean? We only need a few people. Why do we need a bunch? You know what I mean? This is for the real ones. We'll blow up someday, fellas. We'll blow up someday. Someday my podcast is gonna be the most lit podcast in the entire country. Right? Right? Give me a fucking yes in that chat, please. If you are here, say right. Your podcast is gonna be the best in the country one day. Facts. Big facts. Why am I here on a freaking Tuesday night, 5 o'clock, conversing with you guys? Because I love you guys. And this is what I want to do. This is my dream. This is what I'm going to do for a living. Facts. So one day, yes, my podcast is going to be the biggest in the country. You heard? Hit them hearts and hundreds, baby, because you already know what time it is. We ain't stopping. It's all the way up. You know what I mean? Let's do a little reaction. I'm going to do a reaction because why not, right? I'm going to find something dope to watch and react to. I'm right here, guys. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna find something ill to watch and react to, and get some insight in on. And we're gonna do a special. This is a special tonight. Oh, this is my friend Johnny Bartholomew, right? Let's watch and react to this. Hold up. I gotta get this. I gotta turn the sound on real quick. Hold up. Boom. Let's see if it works now. Fuck. What the fuck? I'm trying to get the sound on. Okay, got it. All right. Now we gotta share it. The truth about federal prison, it's called. This is Johnny Bartholomew. He's from Massachusetts. So Johnny Bartholomew, he's a local dude from Massachusetts. Let's get into this. See if I can get this mouse over here a little closer. Boom. Let's get into this shit, bro.
Really appreciate it. And just shows me that there's a little bit of a demand for more of this content. So we're in jail. We're starting to get a little acclimated to what the daily routine looks like. And then somebody walks in the unit, and you're kind of new there, and you say to the guy that's been there a little while, "Hey, new guy's coming in?" And he says, "Nah, the guy just got out of the hole." And you're like, "Oh, all right, the hole." So what is the hole? You hear about it all the time in prison, right? People go, "I go to the hole. I went to the hole. I was locked down 23 hours. A day. I had rec for 1 hour," and everybody's like, "Man, how did you do that? How do you do that? Oh my God, it's so terrible," right? It's horrible, right? Because the first time I went to the hole, I didn't know what to expect. It was brutality. I'm a guy that likes to be moving around, So the first thing that has to happen is they have to have a reason to send you to the hole.
Yeah, that's true in a way, right? But they don't always absolutely need a real reason, right? If they know you're doing something, say, right? Like K2, I'm getting it in the mail, but they can't prove it, right? They know I'm getting it though, because their little informants are telling them, "Oh, he's getting it. This is the dude right here." And they're looking for it. They're trying to figure it out. They can't figure it out. Sure enough, you'll be in that hole for something. And then all the shit that people owe you, everybody will be gone when you get out. So all the money that people owe you, you'll lose it. But then sometimes also there'll be investigations for things that you get wrapped up in that you have nothing really to do with in all actuality. But in the feds it might be different, but in state they're dictators. You know what I mean? But let's listen.
Segregation. It's usually called special housing unit, and that's how it gets the shortened name SHU. SHU for special housing unit. I had a guy that was from Tennessee, and he was a little slow, and he said,
"Nah, there's definitely you still go to the hole even if you pay money, Flacco. That's a fact. You don't. This ain't Mexico. You don't get to pay money and stay out of the hole here. Massachusetts, they don't give a shit. They get paid more money than you could possibly imagine. They don't need our money.
I don't know why they call it a shoe. Don't look like a shoe. It's not meant to look like a shoe. Shoe is for special housing unit. The first thing that happens before you go to the shoe, and usually they'll hand it to you right when you walk in the door or right when they take you to your cell, is you get something like this. It's called a lockup order. That's what they give you in the feds.
So in the state, it's called a disciplinary ticket, and then they'll send you something every week. It's an AA, awaiting action status notice, and it just tells you basically the superintendent's authorizing you to be, stuffed and cuffed and put in the hole until we say so. But yeah,
that's one that I had. I believe it was in Fort Dix, but that's a legitimate lockup order that I received after I got put in the shoe in Fort Dix. I believe that was from Fort Dix. You can read the institution on it. So what is a special housing unit? Why do they even have one? So it's actually a prison inside the prison. And usually, like, one of the main reasons you go is like getting into a fight, right? So the administration will say that it's a security threat. So they have to segregate the people that are involved, maybe some of the friends, depending on what the magnitude of the incident is, depends who's involved, what's involved, if it's gangs, if it's whole geographical areas. But usually, I think this one right here was just a fight that I had in a chow hall, I think in Lee County. Actually, I think it was Fort Dix. That was when I got locked up for threatening staff in Fort Dix.
It's funny how people save their disciplinary tickets from the joint. I have some disciplinary tickets. I even have one for extortion that Aaron Hernandez signed for me. But Johnny Bartholomew, he's a real dude. He's been through some crazy shit. It's a D report. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Freedom. I just think this, right? If people are so interested in learning about prison and finding out about segregation and things like that, like, why though? Like, what is it that drives people to understand the worst places of humanity has, right? Like, we seek to know what it's like in the darkest dungeons of mankind, right? Like, what is the worst thing that humanity has to offer? Segregation. In some places, like Disciplinary Detention Unit, DDU, in Walpole, Mass, right off of Cedar Junction, which is Walpole Maximum Security Prison. That's an entire prison that is just a segregation prison, and it's built as a torture chamber. They closed it down now. They outlawed it, but I spent 10 years basically in DDU like setting, but they sometimes in that exact DDU, and then other times on DDU wings in different facilities. But like, it was crazy, and that shit's like torture, man. And a lot of times the disciplinary reports, it's like kangaroo court. You'll get a D report. You to go to DDU, and this is long-term segregation. You just stomp somebody, stab somebody, kick somebody, or lay somebody out really bad in a gang fight or a staff member or something like that. And then once you're there, you'll get a certain determined sentence, and you'll stay there for a determined amount of time. And once you're there, you're there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get good time off your DDU sentence. Sometimes I guess you do, depending on where you are. An STP, every 3 months that you weren't in trouble, you get 1 month off your ticket, off your disciplinary sentence. So that was a plus. So there's different perks for being in the SDP. The secure treatment programs, a different type of segregation for mentally ill or inmates doing long-term segregation with mental illnesses. But let's get into this video again. Hold up.
That's what that one is. And so it was just me. I went to the hole alone. They said I threatened the staff, but it's a long story, and I'll definitely get to it at some point. I ended up beating the shot. I still stayed in the hole for a little while. And that's what we call an incident report. That's what they write. Like, so they'll write you, a cop will write you an incident report. That's usually how, the impetus to go to segregation is somebody will write you an incident report, So they might just, see you do something, handcuff you, close the compound down, walk you to the hole, and then write the incident report. But that's the justification for putting you in segregation. You have to be
For every single ticket I've ever got, there's incident reports. So if you look at it for a fight, there's going to be medical incident reports. If there's a use of force, like a move team, or they gas you, use chemical agents, then you're going to have incident reports from use of forces from the lieutenants and the captains and the sergeants. Every time something happens, an incident happens, it's an incident report. So they write them for everything. But yeah, leave big paper trails for everything. So that's how, you know, if they're being legit and honest. But this is how they get away with a lot of shit too, is they all back each other up in countless incident reports saying a lie. You know what I mean? So that's how they get away with it.
The incident report, no matter what, it could be just an investigation, could be baseless, anything, but they have to give you that form right when they lock you up, and it just tells you a reason. Or it could just say you're under investigation. Then you'd be like, hey, what's the investigation for? And they'd be like, you can't know right now, just whatever, we'll be back. They just have to give you a reason to justify locking you up. And you know how we talk about the commissary? This is an interesting tidbit, right? About the commissary. You know, I showed you them commissary forms with two sides on it. So when you go to the shoe, or when you go to the hole, a segregation, the box, there's a million names for it, right? When you get taken out of general population and put into segregation, right? This is your commissary list.
Yo, word. And when you go to DDU back in the day, they didn't even give you shit like that. Like, you could only buy specific items. You can only buy, like, I think it was toothpaste and I think deodorant. But I think they gave you your own soap when they went to the shower. You got your soap provided to you. You got flip-flops or bobos. They didn't give you any sneakers, nothing. So you were wearing basic. Everything was very basic. But in every other segregation hole, they give you a very limited hygiene assortment. But now they changed the laws in DDU and everywhere, where you can order specific canteen items like chips and saltine crackers. And like in certain places, I heard that you can get tea, which is dope because tea got caffeine in it. And everybody who's been in prison knows that caffeine and tea and coffee, big shit, bro.
So usually it's just medication. You know, in some institutions you can't get coffee no more. Before, you used to be able to get anything, you know, but now they made it so strict and the guidelines so stringent.
I think they
all you can get is medication.
Reverse,
you can't
like
even buy a pencil.
Nothing. It was good.
You have to get a
really
pencil
good,
from the officer.
Really bad
from the officer.
And really good, then really bad.
So let's explain life in the hole. You go to the hole. I showed you the paper you need for it, what they have to do when they send you there. I'll show you some of my shots for fighting, for causing group demonstrations.
Yo, life in a federal hole, I heard, is a lot different. Like, dudes don't be talking out the door like that. They don't freaking, it's a lot different. The respect factor is a lot different. But let me tell you something. The hole here, we used to not talk after 11 o'clock at night. We don't flush the toilet. We don't talk. We don't bang on the walls. We don't rap, beatbox, nothing. It is silent. You can hear the mice on that tier, right? And there was mice too. Like, they crawl up and down the door frames and shit. But you got to block the bottom of the door. And that's in every prison you go to, basically. But yeah, it was respectful. Guys really had respect. And if you were talking on the tier, you were the only person talking on a tier. There was not like 10 people trying to yell out the door over you to their boy. And if shit did happen like that, it was automatic on site. When they seen you in population, you guys were fighting. There's no disrespect like that. It was so respectful and it was good. It ran smooth. But now, oh man, it's different. People are yelling all over each other, fucking talking at any time of night, flushing the toilets. Like, oh, it's crazy. And it's like an airplane toilet. Things like, it wakes everybody up.
And we'll get into the reasons why that is. But seeing that we're talking about physically being in jail, an ordinary incident of prison living is going to segregation. You could get locked up for any reason, no reason at all. So what does segregation look like? So the hole is usually 2-man cells with just a bunk bed, 2 bunks, right? It's a bunk bed and a bunk bed above, a toilet, commode with a little sink attached to it, stainless steel. And if anybody watched that
depends on if you're in a single cell or not. Most most holes have single cells, and that's the luxury of being in the hole. Like long-term segregation, all singles, DDU singles. But if you're in like county holes or holes, sometimes even the max, there's 4 cells in each tier with double cells in them. So you'll end up in a double sometimes, right? But for the most part, it's all singles.
Skits that we've done in Ian Big's studio,
John,
just
John.
like that.
Yo,
No bars.
John,
Usually it's a
in the
door.
house, kid.
And it's a
down.
commode,
Why not
a
come
sink, 1 desk, 1 stool.
Get your chair.
Hard ass stool, no cushions, nothing like this bad boy that I'm sitting in here. Nothing like it at all.
This is Johnny,
and it's 23.
So I got my boy John here. Just so happens we're live. He was gonna be a guest tonight. We're gonna still go do that for sure. But
for sure.
We're just gonna be live now because I fuck with this live, man.
Bot.
We're doing a live special, bro. So I just do a little surprise Tuesday night live. I don't usually do this. You know what I mean? But let me go close the door because it makes an echo.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Our Australian friend, Kay Razy's here.
Yo, that's some cool people in here.
She's doing mad support. She's a mad supporter.
Is she?
Oh,
Yeah,
she is.
Oh shit. So, what's been going on? Let's finish. You gotta finish reacting to this, or you want to just talk about? Let's talk about some stuff because or we could just.
Whatever.
We can finish reacting to this.
3-hour-a-day lockup. And on the weekends, it's 24. So you do get 1 hour of recreation.
I just went
But
on.
here's how it usually works in the Fed.
Whatever it's called.
Oh, you want to hold up? Let's talk about that. Hold on. We'll finish reacting to this at a different time, real quick. Hold up.
I wish you could have came to the fights.
Yeah, bro. So
we had a good time.
The fights. I heard about the fights,
We
bro.
did.
Yeah. So who fought?
I was clowning Romero all night.
Ramiro.
Oh, I caught mad wreck on Romero.
Ramiro Pebbles.
Yeah.
So you were right next to
him.
That's so.
Yeah, ask the boys. Devin.
What were you saying to him?
I was just because no one recognized him.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's the ring announcer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, that's fucking Romero, dude. And I just got into character, just being me. Yo, Romero, what's up? Fucking kind of underwear you got on? Fucking, just clowning them.
Were they live on the radio?
Yeah, no, we were at the fights, man.
Yeah, but was Ramiro live?
Romero was there.
Just there as a guest, though?
There, he was the ring announcer.
Yeah. That's right.
It got to the point, it's an octagon. So he started going the other way around. We were ringside.
Yeah.
We were second row ringside.
Yeah.
He started avoiding going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But check this out. I don't know if you've seen it. So Devin was like, hey, Devin, Romero Torres, sorry my boy roasted you all night. And he liked the comment. So
yeah,
he acknowledged that obviously there was no not hearing me.
Yeah.
Every time he walked our direction, I said something to him.
So who fought?
I don't know. A bunch of the only kid we knew was Kid Corey O'Reilly.
Okay, you win?
He lost, but you know what? It sucks because he controlled the fight.
Yeah. Word.
But
thank you, baby. Appreciate that.
He was so focused on it looked like he had him, and I said it. I'm like, this kid's he's gonna put him in an armbar or something.
Yeah.
He's gonna because he's gassing. He's not putting him away.
Yeah.
It's taking too much energy to put him away. And he came close, but the guy did. He did exactly what I said he was gonna do.
Yeah.
And he tapped him out with an armbar.
Wow.
And
shit.
It sucks because the kid's a good fighter.
Yeah.
He's not cerebral enough. Do you know what I mean? He's tough enough.
Yeah.
But it's not all you know, and I know it's not all brawn.
Right.
There's a lot of
it's a mental thing, dude. Fighting's 90% feeling. It's mental, dude.
Yes, it's a lot of figuring figuring a
intimidation
guy out.
factor. It's like,
But
you know,
it wasn't none of that.
reading into
It
them.
wasn't none of that, but it was just brains. He put too much into, and he should have known,
Mm.
hey, I got to watch out for this.
Word.
And he didn't. But
Word.
he'll learn it. You learn that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know what I
That's what
mean?
comes with
Every
anything.
great fighter learns that. The
Word.
great fighters like are the smartest fighters, the toughest and the smartest fighters. But there were some good fights.
Yeah,
There were some
absolutely.
good fights.
Josh McDevil.
Oh, Josh, how are you, buddy?
Yep.
Joshua.
What's up, Bats? How you doing?
We've been through it, Josh, you don't even know. I used to sneak out Josh's window and at transitions
Yeah.
and take off for hours and go smoke crack and come back. Like, hey,
Damn.
what's up? And I would lie to and I didn't know the whole time that my significant other at the time was tracking me.
Yeah.
I had my phone on me
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was getting tracked.
Yeah.
And I was just like, she's like, so where are you? And I'm like, what do you think I am? I'm in a program.
Right.
Like you're so paranoid. You're such a nut.
Right.
Like, how can I be here and there when I'm in a program? Like,
Yeah.
if I was doing that, I'd get thrown out.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally just doing whatever I want.
Yeah.
I would sneak out his window, take off for hours, go to Charlestown,
Yeah.
smoke crack, shoot coke, do whatever,
Yeah.
and come back all geeking out, all fucking, and then just go hide out somewhere and then call her and she'll be like, so she didn't tell me till
Yeah.
like weeks later, like,
Yeah.
so,
People say you're a nut out there.
yeah, I got, I've been tracking and I didn't know someone could do that.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
just got out and
Yeah.
I didn't know about none of that.
Right.
And yeah, I've been getting GPS tracked the whole time.
Yeah. Well, your friend Josh is doing his step work, right?
Josh is good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, Josh.
Hell yeah. Anybody out there fighting a good fight, doing their step work and treating themselves
People are
right.
dying.
Yeah.
All them, so many people are dying. I haven't done the program thing in a while, but when you're in that program life, like people are fucking dying.
Word.
It's one thing when it's like people in your neighborhood are dying, but
Yeah.
like when you're in a program, like you're in a halfway house,
Yeah.
go do a halfway house
Yeah.
and graduate it.
Yeah.
5 people will die while you're
Yeah.
there.
Nah, I know. I took the kid's bed I took, and when I got out of jail, died.
Yeah.
And his little memorial tag, I think, is in my girlfriend's car on like the window. He was a good kid. I think his name was Chris or something like that. But rest in peace to him. He's no longer with us because
It's
he
real.
did dope for the first time.
Right. That's all it takes. And to do the shit I did, like I'm literally like people say it, I say it. I was a cat with 9 lives, and
Yeah.
I definitely used up my 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to take any more chances. The fact that I'm alive and some of the people that have died that have not even like went 100th
Yeah.
of as hard as I went, and people that know me know that, and I don't say that to brag. It's just a matter of fact.
Word.
It just is what it is, and
Yeah.
that I'm still here, it's just part of my experience.
Mhm.
And it's just more of what makes my story a miracle,
Yeah.
and it's like,
God's got plans.
yeah, I just, it makes me, what makes me more grateful, and
Yeah.
and that, purpose. It makes me think about purpose and
Yeah, absolutely.
what my purpose is at this moment, and I just think that is to just share my experiences and use social media as that platform to do it, to try to stop others from making the mistakes that I made. You know what I mean?
What do you notice about social media, like as you get into it? What is kind of like your aim, and like what do you notice so far?
I
About
noticed that it's hard to
Yeah.
get people to fucking support you.
Yeah, support's very hard. Yup.
You'll get it from people you barely know.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll get like, and I noticed she was an offset of you.
Yeah.
K.
Yeah.
And Lynn
Yup.
Lynn is so fucking supportive.
Yeah, Lynn is one of
Like
the best.
if you can have 1,000 Lynn, shout out to Lynn.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
And Josh, since Josh has found my social media, has liked everything, has emojied on everything.
Yup.
you got people like that.
I do that too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm sorry, and
Yup.
you know what? You as well.
Yeah.
You ask certain people that are trying to do the same thing,
Yeah.
trying to do the same thing, and I broke it down to them like, dude, I'm asking you to click a fucking button. How? Well, I'm at work. Well, I'm at like, I don't give a fuck. You're
takes 2
still on your
seconds.
phone, man.
Right.
You're still on your phone.
Yeah.
The fact that I have to ask you once to even ask you, right, is crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I send you a thing to be a collaborator, whatever, because it helped me get your followers.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get your followers to see my shit.
Yeah.
There's a method to my madness,
Right.
and that's why I'm doing it. And you should know that. And then I gotta ask you twice, and then it's like, you know what? I'm not even asking anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is what I'm trying to do, and I've made it clear to certain people, and it's just impossible
Right.
when everybody's on their fucking phones anyways.
Yeah.
Like, how hard is it? And there are, and I'm sorry if I left certain people out. There was just certain people that came to mind right away.
Right.
But there are Bats is
Yup, Bats is a big supporter.
there
too.
are, you know,
Is that you're gonna each person has their own like
There's a
specific
bunch.
circle of family supporters.
and
then
and
there's
I
those
just
outside
can't even
friends.
like get family. Like, it's people are on their phones, man, and it's like, if I can just get the support out the gate,
Yeah.
it
Makes it easier.
yes, it gets the algorithm going.
Yeah.
And people from Charlestown, I put it on my Facebook. I just opened my Facebook again because I've had 2 of them deleted, disabled by Meta. I have a whole thing going on with them, but I finally said, I got one
Right.
Instagram. I don't care about all the other ones. I know I've sent people a million, and I apologized and took accountability for all the friggin' Facebooks and Instagrams I've had, because I've had 40 of them.
Right.
And there was a reason for that. And I
Yeah.
just won a
Yep.
couple giveaways, by the
Yep.
way, this week.
Good
I
shit.
won 2 of them.
What'd you win?
I won some Travis Scott, Jordan 1 lows, and some Jordan 5 metallics. So we're not talking, excuse me.
Yep. Go ahead. Take your time.
We're not talking bullshit shoes here. We're talking, when they make it harder for me, Meta does. They really have clamped down and made it harder. But that is why, and I shared it and showed people this is why I do what I do. I'm
Word.
winning free fucking sneakers here that some are worth $400, $500.
Yeah.
And, I've won sneakers that are worth $1,200, $1,500.
Yeah.
And
It's the game.
it was a reason. And so I understand if you're skeptical. But I put posts out, ran it all down. I got one Instagram I care about. Please,
Yeah.
just click a button.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
For anybody I know,
Yeah.
I see a post, I hit the like.
Yeah. No, you
That's
you
it.
put my
I hit
reels
the
in your
like.
story.
I
and do all
share.
that shit.
I fucking it's simple shit.
Yeah.
I'm on there anyways.
The
Do you know
biggest
what I
thing for
mean?
me, especially on YouTube, right, is
And if you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. I mean, honest. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not a person who sugarcoats,
right.
and it is what it is.
Yeah,
And it's
no,
like,
I mean that's the truth. If you have a guilty conscience,
whoa!
you're-
Anthony Juarez died.
Anthony Juarez died. How do you know that? Where'd you see that?
Rest in peace, Anthony Juarez.
Rest in peace, Anthony
Mr.
Juarez.
Freedom. Anthony Juarez died.
Is that true?
Jesus Christ. Rest in peace, Anthony. Good guy.
Yeah.
That's a good guy right there.
I'll put his Instagram in my thing too if you guys want to go check his Instagram.
That was my
out.
guy. That was a friend of. He
Um,
was a good guy. Anthony was a good guy.
You know what I got? I got a tip for like anybody starting Instagram, and like what I did wrong, I think, is or maybe it wasn't so wrong. I started from the very fucking with nothing, no equipment, nothing, making reels just like you're making
Yeah.
them right now. Just you
Yeah.
speaking and showing your family life and just who you are as a person, kind of basics. If I could go back in time and start over again, I would make reels that hit punch, like have a real good punch, so that, and like I'd keep it very consistent. Every single reel I make is very, very quality.
Same
Like it
thing.
has the same quality, and you hit on it, and you know it's gonna
hard
be
to
good.
know. It's hard. It's hard.
It is.
to
It's
know.
hard to hit the
I've
nail on
had
the
a
head.
couple that have hit
Yeah.
200-300 likes.
I mean, people like your reels like that have like just
Because
very
they
basic
hit
shit
with
going
me.
on.
They
Yeah.
hit
It's personal shit.
If I see something that I relate with, I download it.
Yeah.
I repost it.
Right.
And I definitely don't forget to you give credit to the person that I'm reposting their shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, this is courtesy of such and such. This isn't mine,
Right.
but I relate with it and I'm putting it out. I've banged out 100 posts
Yeah.
in 2 months. I had an Instagram.
Yeah.
My original Instagram. I had 3,000 followers and I didn't care. It was just when I was doing sneaker stuff, I followed sneaker people. They followed me back. I followed everyone I knew. They followed me back. And I had about 3,000 followers.
Right.
And I really didn't care about followers.
You had 3,000 followers on
just
Instagram?
out of, yes.
Damn.
And I had about 3,000 on Facebook.
I post, you see how I post, and I make
And
I
I
try to
lost
put a lot
all
into it.
that. And I didn't post.
Yeah.
I would post sneakers when I got new sneakers. That was it.
Right.
But I didn't worry about likes. I didn't go back and look at
Who responded? Right.
right. But not only that, but look at how many. You know how
The
you can go
views
back
and-
and see how many people have
Analytics and shit.
all that.
Yeah.
How many people have looked at your
Just basically the stats of the reel and shit. Right?
everything. But how many? I get lost for words.
How many people
Dopamine
liked
to
it?
tell me. No, at your profile. How many people have looked at your profile?
Oh, okay,
You can
okay.
look at all that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see
yeah.
how many people have viewed a reel, how many views it got, how many were followers, how many % of that were followers, how many weren't,
Right.
how many interactions your account have got,
Right.
you know, how many shares, how many likes, how many comments each have got. And the one that got the most was which I related with a lot, was the John Cena post reel I reposted, which was him
Like
based,
that?
and I can't stand that dude. I've seen him on reality TV a couple times. The way he treated his girlfriend at the time,
Yeah.
and he treated her like fucking shit,
Right.
like absolute shit, and he
Yeah.
acted like he was a god, like, and I just couldn't stand it.
Right.
Like this had nothing to do with. I never watched wrestling.
Yeah.
I did as a kid when Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and the Iron Sheik and people like them.
Right.
Well before Cena, so I didn't know him anything as a wrestler. The shit I did see in commercials, he just looked like an idiot. So I didn't like him
Yeah.
at all.
Right.
And I seen this post he was on with the guy Kai Cenat, whatever his
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
is.
Kai Cenat.
However, the guy's got a million
Yeah.
freaking
Big
followers.
fucking platform.
That guy knows what he's doing. But he was with him and a couple other people, and he was like, I used to think I was literally put on this earth to be a wrestler. Like that was my
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
God put me on this earth to be a wrestler. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
And then I started acting and doing some other stuff. And then I thought literally that God put me here to tell stories.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after I became famous enough, like it just hit me that God put me here. I'm just another person.
Right.
Significantly insignificant.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a beautiful saying. Significantly insignificant.
Insignificant. A
Yep.
grain of sand on a beach.
Yep.
I'm
We
just
all
here.
are. We're just human beings
I'm
here
just
to add
here.
value.
Just like, you know,
Yeah.
Joe Schmo and whoever else. And I've been given lottery ticket after lottery ticket after lottery ticket. I am one of the luckiest human beings on earth to,
Word.
you know, just to gain the fame I've got and to, you know, a lot of things have been handed to me. I didn't have to really work for a lot of the things I've got. I just got lucky. And so I try to give back with that by just being grateful every day. And I
Yeah.
wake up, you know, I try to make the best out of every single day, you know, and then I go
Yeah.
to sleep and then I wake up again. And then I try to do the same over and over again and just try to be grateful for the lottery ticket I've been given. You know,
Word.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do is once you have bad days, you have good days, you go through bad things in life, you know, but once all that shit's over with and you shut the door on that, you gotta, you gotta learn. Obviously, you learn from those experiences,
Right.
and that's what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
And you got to be grateful that you did become, who you are. You are who you are, and you did get some benefits out of some of the shit you went through.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I
prison,
mean?
even prison, I benefited from all
You
kinds of
did.
different things. that I
You
hated
could be
going
you
through.
could be a walking mat in life.
Yeah.
You could just be somebody who just
Takes
everybody
every type of
just
short.
just gets pushed over in life, and you're
Yeah.
just miserable because people just walk all over you. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with that. I have a family. I was able to fucking get back up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't stay back down on the ground and say, "Woo, pull me." You know what I mean? I was tough enough to get back up because of my fucking experiences.
Right.
And I make the best of every day. I wake up next to my family. I wake up next to my son every day.
Yeah.
And that post in particular, like really I was like, oh, I'm fucking reposting this. And a lot of people, obviously related
Yeah.
to that post.
I mean, people see the algorithm picks up on weird shit, and
I don't
people
go
start
looking for
liking
stuff.
it. And I've
I don't
noticed
go
that
looking
it's
for
not the
things.
shit that I believe is gonna hit. It's the shit that I don't like sometimes think is gonna do that well, and then it just goes crazy. You know what I mean? But then there's those times where I know like this is gonna be some fire shit, and like people are gonna really want to hear this. You know what I mean? Like, and then it does. It does well.
I'm trying to. That's not what my thing. That's not what I want my thing to be. It's just I'm just trying to get off the floor with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Gain followers and get to a certain platform where I can do what I really want to do, which is, do this.
Yeah.
I want to fucking do this on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And, help people.
Right. Right.
And have people that, have certain situations, shoot idea. Hey, what happened when this happened? How were you able to deal with this adversity?
Right.
And I have dealt with it just as you have dealt with all that adversity in life. Ultimately, I was able to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no adversity in life that fucking put me on the ground and I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I was always able to be like, I'll be all right.
Yeah. You have no choice sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
Well, there's some people that I listen. My wife.
I guess you do have a choice.
My wife is a recovery coach.
Right.
And I have no choice but to hear some of the people that she talks to, because she talks to them on, speaker. And trust me, these people, a lot of them are fucking thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
And they are fucking weak.
Yeah.
One kid in particular today was just like, I'm just so tired. I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my fucking God, this kid is just so fucking weak. Who raised this fucking kid?
Yeah.
Who raised this fucking kid?
Sometimes people just need guidance. They need to smack
Will you come
face.
see me? Will you come see me? I'm like, where the fuck is this kid? She's like, he's in McLean's. I'm like, he wants you to come see him or Cole? Like, what, toughen the fuck, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? This is honestly what each generation after the World War II generation, which those were fucking men.
Yeah.
These men, you want to talk about men?
Yeah.
Athletes, professional athletes.
Yeah.
Stopped fucking playing professional baseball.
Right.
And went to war.
Yeah.
The best. Ted Williams, best player of baseball at that time, went and said, no, we're going to fight for our country.
Yeah.
And went and fought for our country.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that today? Can you imagine LeBron James like, no, you know what? I'm going to Afghanistan and I'm going to fight for this country. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, ever since that fucking generation, it has just got a little worse and a little worse until I think our generation was just the last of some toughness left.
Yeah. Because
now it is just weakness. And
yeah,
I will not raise my fucking boy. I don't care. His mother will be like, leave him alone. And I'm like, fucking, no, you ain't going to be fucking a little whiny little bitch and and be fresh. And I was fucking slapped the shit out of him last night
Yeah.
because he's
Be
just a
careful
fresh.
what you say, because
he's
some
a
people
fresh-
don't agree with that.
He is a fresh, spoiled little fuck. I didn't slap him in the face.
Yeah.
Let me back up. And
Yeah.
when
you
I
gotta
say
be careful,
that-
because
when
there's
I
some
say
Karens
that,
out there that
I
will-
just meant I gave him a slap
yeah, a butt.
on his bare skin because he needed it. Because this kid was running around firing trucks at people. He's already broke a TV. The kid's just wild.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to coddle him. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. I don't care what anyone thinks. Coddling people is what got this country and the men in this country where they're at now.
Yeah,
And
fact.
that's just how I feel.
Right.
And it is what it is.
Right.
And my boy is not going to be a soft little pansy boy. I'm
Right,
sorry.
right, right.
If he ends up a homosexual, that'd be one thing. I would still love him, but
Right.
that has nothing to do with being soft in life.
Right, right.
I have a nephew that's homosexual,
Yeah.
but he's not soft. He's
No, he's a
homosexual.
tough-ass
He's
dude.
homosexual, but he fucking will not take no shit because his mother didn't raise him like that.
Word.
My sister was just she raised that kid like she just was fucking. That kid had it hard. I'm not gonna lie. That poor bastard. She would fucking fire toasters at him, and that poor bastard. But he's gay, but he is not soft.
Mhm.
So don't get it twisted. I'm
Some of
not
the toughest
saying,
kids I grew up with, they were gay. They were
you know what
just
I mean.
going
You
through
can
some
have,
shit.
and I've been in the joint with some gay dudes that are not any pushovers. They are still.
Yeah, in fact,
They
he said
still
that
have-
the fucking state doesn't want us disciplining our own kids nowadays.
Right.
I got beat for things that are normalized now.
Exactly.
It's true.
Exactly. There's still, you could still have some alpha tendencies and be gay.
Fact. Fact. Brian, I don't know why that didn't show up on the regular chat, but that's just because YouTube snatches comments sometimes. So I'll put it up on the big screen for you. I'm from Harbor Terrace, Fall River.
Fall River.
Fall
I just
River.
reposted a Chris Aaron video.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Aaron. He's one of the old school fucking original Boston Celtics. He was Boston Celtics, right? Junkie.
He played for the Celtics.
Yeah.
He got drafted by the Nuggets,
Yeah.
but he was a hell of an athlete.
Yeah.
That kid. I don't think people get how good. I mean, you really have to be the natural talent it takes to make it to the league.
Yeah, Celtics. I mean,
And to actually play in the league. Like he wasn't just a mediocre, like what he did in college, like he excelled in college. And people excel in college and still don't make it to the league. There's people that play their whole lives, dedicate their whole lives to basketball. And the best they'll likely get, if they're lucky, is to make it to a Division I team.
Word.
That's the chances. Like that's what percentages say. And for him to be a white kid from Fall River to come out and to do what he did, get a scholarship to BC. He ended up going to Fresno State and get drafted. And he's a top 5 player out of this state to ever play to come out of Massachusetts.
Word.
He's a top 5 player to come out of Massachusetts, and for him to end up, getting strung out and just being a regular heroin addict from Fall River,
Word.
which is pretty crazy. And now he goes around and he does. He's a motivational speaker, and he tries to keep people from making the same mistakes that he made.
My friend, Tommy Tibbetts.
No, I know
Tommy was upstate with us, but
Billy.
Yeah, he's a good kid, but he used to always say, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Chris Aaron banged my mother." That was his thing. He used to tell people like on the day you meet you, be like, "Yeah, Chris Aaron banged my mom." I love him, dude. Though Tommy's a good kid, man. Yeah,
that's.
I love him. Shout out to Tommy, bro. He's locked back up right now. He's locked up in, I think, down south too, man, or something. But or no, actually, I think he's in Plymouth. He's in Plymouth County, man. And then Ryan, his brother Ryan, shout out to Ryan.
The Panthers are going to be dangerous now. The Panthers are dangerous. Sorry, The Panthers are dangerous anyways.
Yeah, the Bruins. I mean, I don't know, man. The Bruins have been kind of slacking this year, man. They lost the other night.
And well, that's why they're
They need to fight more.
they're crashing the ship.
We need more fights in hockey
Yeah.
nowadays, bro.
It's
It's getting
just,
soft.
I mean, that's the way they're gearing the NHL towards, which is just less physical.
Lynn, what's up, Lynn?
Hi, Lynn. We were giving you mad shout out.
Yeah, we were just talking about you earlier.
You should go back and watch. Ooh.
Yeah, in fact, she'll go back and watch. She watches every single one of my videos from start to finish. She comments on every single thing. Lynn is a big supporter of my content.
Lynn is
And,
a huge supporter of
When I make it
Both-
big, when
both
my
of our-
podcast,
both of our content.
yeah, when
Well,
I have
she's-
thousands
I
of
mean,
people here, Lynn's
She's
gonna be my
huge.
number
She
one.
likes everything.
Fact.
She follows fucking probably all my accounts.
And that's the
and
difference.
likes
Like
everything. She's
when you follow counts like us,
And
like
it's
you
like
follow
she's-
like things like
she
this,
just
this is
does
because
what-
you love this content. You relate to us on a real level. And it's not because we're popular. It's not because you're going with some wave that you're just jumping on a bandwagon. People that are here, they're real motherfuckers that have real stories and keep it raw and funky. And you get nothing but good shit from us. You know what I mean? And that's why people keep coming back. Because if you look on my analytics, everybody who watches my channel pretty much keeps coming back. Like most people that watch my videos will watch them again and again. And then, I got tons of new people that
It's
watch
the
every
same
time,
people.
but I still get a
But
lot of them.
there's so many people that watch the same kind of stuff from
Yep.
other people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if they were to just watch this content, they would watch it.
right.
They just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where like people we know, people you grew up with, people I grew up with. Like I just started my Facebook account.
Yeah.
It's already got like 300 followers. And they're
Right.
all people I know.
Right.
They're all people I know.
Yeah.
And I've, pretty much gone as far as to say, hey, please, if you're on social media, if you're already there, I'm not asking you to go there, to open up your phone and go there. But if you're there, follow and like.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's so hard?
Word.
Lynn does it all day, every day, because she's there.
Yeah. I
Do you
feel
know
like,
what I mean? What's so hard about it? We know each other. You say hi to me when you see me.
but we do also have a duty to.
If I see you, I mean, we have more loyalty as a more, but how, like,
but
it's-
listen to this though,
it's-
John,
it's
right?
like, I
Even
don't-
with creating our content though, John, right? We have a duty as content creators to create content that people relate to and enjoy, right? So they're not obligated to like what we say. You know what
You're
I mean?
not obligated to, no.
But
And
if
when I'm
you
not-
if you're my
but-
friend and you know me, definitely hit the like button. And if you agree with what I say, definitely hit with the like button. If you agree and you respect the message and the fact that I'm grinding, hit the like button.
I
If
haven't-
you love
exactly,
the video,
that's it.
hit the like button.
That's it. I wish, let me check
Fact.
this
It's
out.
just the fact that sometimes
Watch
people could
this.
respect the fact that I'm grinding and that I'm
Here's-
putting in tons of work, hours,
Here's a
blood, sweat, and
perfect-
tears. I'm almost getting in between my family life to
Yeah.
run my
Word,
podcast because
word.
my girl gets mad that I'm at home editing sometimes when I don't get to pay attention to her as a human
Mhm.
being. And that kills me because it's
I
like
have
I
the same
want to
thing
be able to
going
pay
on.
attention to her. I want to be able to show her the love that she deserves, but I also want to
It's
get this
balancing.
out there and build my platform and show and get this new video out to let people get this new content as fast as possible because I know it's hitting. You know what I mean? I know
Balance.
it's good. And I put some
Balance.
hard work into it.
Finding balance between, I just had this,
Yeah.
we didn't have the full conversation, but
Right.
my wife yelled at me and said, "You're always yelling at our daughter about balance."
Right.
It's a separate conversation we're having with balance with her.
Right.
But you need to balance. Now that you've got this idea in your head that this is what you do,
Yeah.
this is what you want to do, you need to balance because I haven't been balanced correctly, and I need to do that. And
Right.
I recognize that, and I intend to do that because
Word.
she deserves that.
Word.
She's my biggest supporter. She's the one who, on top of myself, I have faith in myself and say, I believe I can do this. But she's the one in my ear, like, I know you can do this. I know you can do anything you set your mind up to do. You're this, you're that. You know, she's the person who's behind me, you know, giving me the motivation to really,
Word.
you know, do anything that I believe I can do.
Isn't it nice to have that, bro? I love
Yes.
it. When my girl, when
Yes.
I get home and my girl's, you know, she watches all my lives and shit, and she's comments on my lives. She's here right now watching probably, and she'll be like, you know, you did a good job, or she'll keep it real and be like, yeah, it was kind of, you know,
Yeah, she does that too.
yeah, you know what I mean. But I need that, bro. You know
But
what I
you
mean?
do. You don't need somebody lying to you.
Word.
You know, you
If
need
it's
a
mediocre,
person that's
tell me
going
it's
to keep it
mediocre.
real
Fact.
and say, hey, I think you should do. She's always given the constructive criticism, like, listen, I don't think you're doing this right. I think you need to do this. But
we've been doing a lot of extra
check-
shit too
check
lately,
this
too,
out.
kind of building our relationship too. And that's something too that a lot of ex-cons that we need to build on
it's hard.
ourselves.
It's hard to
going
talk
out
about
and
is
going
saying,
on dates
hey,
and being
right,
around other
right,
people
yeah.
and like doing things
And
together. Like those things are big.
pro-social, that's what Johnny Bott talks a lot
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
We as cons, ex-cons, right? Especially and I started to do this, was I would sabotage, chilling, doing a good bit, and
Yep.
just get love, get in a fight, just to go be alone. And then
Yeah.
the more I did it, the more I found solace
Yeah.
in being alone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it would just
Keep going back.
the antisocial behavior of it became, you know, you feed into that and
Yeah.
you just want to be. And the more you get used to that, it's fucking dangerous. It's dangerous.
Word.
Do you know what I mean? Because you got to get out someday.
Yeah.
And when you get out, like, how are you going to get accustomed to life?
Word.
That's why it became so fucking hard. Every time I get out, I would go right back.
Yeah.
And I mean, within days, weeks,
Yeah.
I would be right back in Concord.
Yeah.
Right, I wrapped up a state bid and was back in Concord that same month. Which is just nuts to wrap up a long state bid and be back.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so like, oh my God, dude. Like my pin number still works.
Yeah, exactly.
My pin number still turned on. You know what I mean? And it's like, you didn't even get used to being out yet. You're still used to doing time, and you're back in the joint because you can't even function outside because you're so antisocial, man.
Yeah, it's hard for me to verbalize it a lot because I try to tell people about it too, like the mental health aspect of getting out and all that shit that you bring with you, all that, like you said, the more you go back and the more you find comfort of being alone and shit. I sleep in a room by myself at night. I'm in a house with my girl. I can go over there and sleep, but I feel so much more comfortable alone in a room at night.
It's unhealthy.
In the dark.
It's unhealthy. Johnny, I mean, I can't say it now. He is a smart guy.
He is smart. I listen to him.
He talks a lot about that pro-social life because it's healthy. It's healthy. And that's the stuff you're gonna do to live a normal life. Fact. That's normality.
Fact.
And that stuff, like, I didn't need him to tell me it, but him saying it out loud is like, hey, there's a guy who knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because it took so long, especially after doing my last bid.
Yeah.
After being, I wrapped up out of DDU.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck, and I was like, I don't eat that state food.
Yeah.
So I went that whole time. I ate breakfast. I ate one meal a day.
Yeah.
And that was if I liked it.
Yeah.
Like the eggs and shit, that green eggs in Walpole.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat that shit.
Right.
So like I would just eat the bread. So for all that time, I ate one meal a day. Yeah. When I get out, I wish I still had the picture. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. I was only like 160 pounds.
Right.
And if you compare that, I'm 225, 230 now. 70 pounds heavier now.
Yeah.
I was not healthy.
Right.
I was not healthy physically.
Yeah.
And I was not healthy mentally.
Right.
And that's why, like, the recidivism, like, that's why you're not supposed to wrap up out of a place like that. They do step downs.
Yeah.
They stop
it illegal.
They start letting you wrap up out of there.
DU.
And that's why it's not open anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not healthy. People were wrapping up. Brendan fucking McGinnis wrapped up out of there after I don't know how many years he did there.
Shit, Boo Boo wrapped up out of there, and as soon as he got rearrested and went back, they made him finish his time.
Right.
Remember,
They were
stopped
doing
doing
that to
too.
other people. They did it to Brendan McGinnis.
Yeah,
They did it to Brendan McGinnis.
Yeah.
He did like 10 fucking years.
yeah, I know.
He did like 10
Poor
fucking
kid,
years.
he was tapped.
Like, and now,
Oh my
and
God,
now,
he
I
lost
mean,
his damn
I
mind.
can only
over
talk
there,
about
bro.
what it did to me, and he got out like pale fucking white.
Yeah,
It's a
lost
ghost.
his mind, and then
Like,
he went and murdered people. Dude.
Yes, he went and killed somebody in Iowa, and it's like,
Yeah.
how do you blame him? And the same thing happened to Danny Tavares.
Yeah, Danny was nuts.
And that's
too.
why-
Oh, annoying bastard.
And that's why, but he was like a PC.
He was a
type
PC,
guy.
bro. He was a PC. Charlie Chase and him
he's
are
a
like
legit-
buddies, dude.
He's
like,
a legit PC.
Yeah,
He wouldn't.
people
I
think
was
Charlie
there.
Chase is wicked tough, bro.
He's a rat.
He's a rat.
I seen the
That's what I
paperwork
said
on
too. I'm like,
I
dude,
seen
he's
the
no good,
paperwork on
man.
But let's talk about Danny Tavares.
Yeah,
I was there
right.
when they brought him back
Yeah,
from
from
Washington.
Washington. Yeah, Walla Walla.
I was on, Walla Walla.
Yep.
My grandfather. Let's talk about my grandfather did 10 years there.
Walla Walla.
Yeah,
Walla Walla's pretty gangster.
He
They
robbed
got
a-
the ABs out there,
Listen,
right?
My grandfather robbed a whorehouse out in Washington.
Right.
He did 10 years
Yep.
in Walla Walla State
Right, right.
Prison. My grandfather was a G too.
Right.
But they offered to let him go to pot.
Right.
They tried to send him down to L1,
Oh,
and he refused.
did they really? Because I was up there
Yeah.
with them. I remember, dude,
He's
just
such a
with
liar.
Dave
He's a
Shalhoub and all them up there.
liar,
Sending
liar.
around all the paperwork about his murders and shit, and like to strangers.
He had the paperwork on Charlie Chase.
Yeah, he does. I know. I've read
Now
it
they
all.
did. Well, here's the thing. They did that documentary on Charlie Chase.
Yeah.
You could find it.
They say Danny Tavares was the I-95 killer too.
He could be, but I mean,
He had
you're out-
prostitutes
you're
burying
out
his mom's
killing women.
backyard.
It doesn't take anybody. Can
Nah,
go,
anybody
but
can
that
do
there's
that.
nothing gangster about killing women.
Nah.
So, and he killed a couple out in Washington for nothing. But he was a PC in the joint. He was a guy that stayed in DDU and wouldn't leave because he knew when he went to pop, guys wanted to get him. He was one of them guys that stayed in DDU because he was safe there.
Right.
He was safe there. And there's other guys that did that.
Mm.
And they would torture you over there. They would bang on your
Yeah.
wall, and we talked about them before.
I was his neighbor. Me and
DDU
Jacob
bucks.
were neighbors with him after
I was
I
up
beat
there
up
with
with
him a
Donnie
few
Diamond.
times.
Remember Donnie Diamond?
Yes.
Remember the kid with the big
Yeah.
diamond in his face?
Yeah.
Yeah. After I beat him up on the tier.
Oh, I
fucking
wanted to
made
show
his
you
lips
this.
fall off, and me and Jacob went to the hole. We were
Jacob.
neighbors with Danny Tavares.
Oh, when I wrapped up,
Yeah.
I wrapped up off the tail with your brother and Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob.
The day I wrapped up.
I don't like Jacob no more, bro.
Really?
Nah.
I like living on the tail with them.
Because he
I'm
well
trying to show
after
you
this shit, like, so he started,
250K.
you know, after this shit happened with the CO, he basically, word is, he told, there was a big report, he made a statement on my brother against when
No
he
way.
fought the cops. Yeah.
Look at this. Listen to this.
What is it?
Why?
Most people won't
Put it
see
up
your
all the way
vision
so they
until
can
it's
hear.
Okay, start it
undeniable.
again.
They won't applaud your efforts until the world. Isn't it crazy how people idolize celebrities who don't even know they exist, but laugh at their own friends for chasing their dreams? The nature of things. Most people won't see your vision until it's undeniable. They won't applaud your efforts until the world already has. People are conditioned to success only after it's been achieved, not while it's being built. They don't laugh at the dream. They laugh at the audacity of believing in something they can't yet see.
Mhm.
But remember, their laughter isn't a reflection of your potential. It's a reflection of their own limitations. They've been taught that dreams are fantasies, not blueprints. Success is luck, not persistence. Because remember, the only difference between those who make it and those who don't is the willingness to continue despite the silence. And if you wait for their support, you'll wait forever. So keep going, not to prove them wrong, but to prove yourself right. One day, the same people who laughed will ask how you did it, and you'll be too busy living your dream to care. Isn't it crazy? how
Fact,
people
by then you'll
idolize
be too
How about
busy
that?
living
Did
your
that-
dream
I
to
mean,
care.
but did you hear all that?
Nah,
Was
it's
that
fact,
like
bro. That
fucking
shit,
spot
that
on?
shit hits.
That hit, right?
That shit hits. Yeah.
Nobody
shit
wants
hits,
to
bro.
believe. I'm in a group text with all the kids I grew up in,
Mm. Lynn said, "Amen,
and I sent it to them.
amen
Like,
to
dude,
that."
I'm
baby.
asking.
We'll do some fucking special shit for that.
I'm asking
Oh shit, not that, but this.
for little
This.
things.
This.
Can you upload this on my YouTube?
What, this video?
Yes.
You want this video for your YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, you can have it. You can have
I
it.
don't want it just for my YouTube.
Yeah, I
want
mean,
it-
it'll be on mine too, but I will give you this whole video.
you weren't
so
answering
you
me.
can
I was
upload it
trying to
yours.
send. I was trying to send you. Hey, I'm coming. Here's my YouTube link. Can you put this on both of our?
You can't share it, so I couldn't share it to both channels.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, you can't
But-
share it, but I can
but,
download it onto my computer and then give it to you, and you can take that upload and put it right on yours.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you hit the like button on this video, and make sure you always show up to my lives, because you never know just how jumping is gonna be.
Subscribe.
Fact.
To my
What's John's YouTube? What's your
YouTube.
YouTube, bro? Yeah, let's subscribe right now. I'm gonna subscribe right on live. I got my iPad, guys. Let's go subscribe to John live.
Hard Time Real Talk.
149587. That's you? Hard Time Real
Yeah,
Talk.
baby.
Okay. From
You
prison to fatherhood.
That's it.
Okay, that's you. Hard Time Real Talk from prison to fatherhood. Go run the live. Go run this live with the volume off. That way we get another viewer on there, baby.
Oh yeah. 15 subscribers. Actually, it's going up. I ain't gonna lie. There's people are subscribing.
Okay.
People are subscribing. Okay. Where we at? Okay. Search. The dub. You know who asked me to be on?
Who?
The kid, Ronnie Blue Eyes.
Yeah, Ronnie Blue Eyes, good kid. Just drop that volume in.
Yeah, he just asked me.
Oh shit, I typed in yours and I got what I get. I got mine. That's the one I did from yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I started off this live just talking about the beginning of the rest of my DYS story, and
I got some DYS.
There was only a few people here, man, and I was just like, it's kind of dudding out, but that's just how it is. Sometimes, the stories just aren't the type of stories that everybody wants to hear, but I don't know if this is gonna find you.
That was actually the thumbnail. The thumbnail on my original podcast with I almost said JoJo. B. Luke. He used my my DYS experiences because I originally went in there with the civil rights case.
Yeah.
And
I don't see you, bro.
And I was the only white kid there. And naturally there was no white staff neither. It was on Morton Street in Mattapan. And they basically told everybody what my case was, which really wasn't. It was involved with Asians. It had nothing to do with any blacks or nothing, and it really had nothing to do with any.
Why, they give you a racial case?
Yeah, because the time and when it happened in Charlestown, it was still the 90s, mid 90s, and it was just a fight. Me and my friends got in and a couple people got stabbed, and my friends showed up when all the cops and ambulances showed up, and they started yelling racial shit at my friends.
Yeah.
And started pointing at them and saying they were there, and none of them were there.
Yeah.
Me and who was there already took off. And one of my friends got hurt really bad. So we were waiting on Main Street for his mother to come get him,
Right.
to drive him to the hospital.
We're gonna have to
'cause
do this thing after.
He
because I
needed to
can't
go to the
find it.
hospital, and then we realized, we didn't even realize, what we had just done.
Right.
It was kind of those things that just needed to happen.
Yeah.
Happened, and we didn't realize how serious it was until afterwards,
Right.
when the cops were everywhere. There was K9s, MBTA police, Boston police, state police, and the cops just converged out of everywhere.
Right.
And we got arrested. And they brought us to MBTA police station on Southampton Street,
Yeah.
which is like right where Mass Ave is, right between Andrew Square and South Bay.
Mhm.
And we get there, and all my friends are there, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? They're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we just had, well, you know, we just, whatever happened.
Right.
You know, and I was still a juvenile, so my parents were there. They tried to, you know, bring me in and say, hey, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. What? I ain't got nothing to say. You know, I'm from Charlestown, so I was already groomed. I already knew.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know. I don't know nothing. So then we go to court, and like they couldn't even bring us in the front of Charlestown court. There was news cameras. There was like, they blew this out of proportion. Like, there's this a big race thing. Charlestown kids, you know, racial, blah, blah, blah. Every news channel was there. They had to bring us in the back of the courthouse. And yeah, they fucking gave us high bails, charged us with civil rights violation of constitutional rights, assault with a deadly weapon, you know, all that craziness, and
all the good stuff.
Yeah, the kid come very close to dying. Like,
Yeah.
It was like centimeters from his heart.
Right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. You come that close to someone like that. Kid was that kid was in critical
It's a wake
condition.
up call for you too, huh?
Right. And I was 15.
Yeah.
So, you know, I went to DYS. They were all kids that really didn't get in trouble like that. Like, they all got high and shit, but they didn't get in trouble like that. I was already on probation, and I was already hemmed up, so I went away for it.
Right.
And I'm in Metro Gym, it was called.
Yep, the Metro Gym, I've heard of it.
Yep, no cells. They used to bring out banana boats
Mhm.
and put mattresses in. There's 50 of them in the gym.
Right.
So it would be all out all night, all day, play basketball, just do whatever.
Right.
Go to school during the day.
Yeah.
And I played basketball growing up. That's what I did. So
Yeah,
me and
I love playing basketball in
me and
DYS.
this Korean kid were just schooling dudes. Me and him, we're dogging 2-on-2. We're taking these dudes. We're just beating. You know, who's next? And then we're eating together. So we went to lunch, and we were eating together.
Right.
So we went and sat together. Like, all right, I got somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? There's no all black.
Yep.
This Asian kid and maybe a couple Spanish kids. That's it. Like, there was no one there.
Right.
Like, I could talk to. And he's like, hey, where you from? I'm like, I'm from Charlestown. He's like, oh man, I got beef with dudes from Charlestown. Yo, they stabbed my mans.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, oh my fucking God. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, yeah, BRD. I'm Boston Red Dragon. And I'm like, I can't fucking believe this.
Right.
I can't fucking believe this. This is fucking crazy. So this dude's one of the fucking
Boston Red Dragons. I
He's a
never
blood.
heard of that shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're blood. Yeah,
a
it's a blood set.
Okay.
So he's talking about me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta do what I gotta do, right? So I fucking move.
He's got beef with your whole city because you stabbed him. Now he's telling
about
you.
me. Got beef with me. So I think I gotta do what I gotta do, man. I'm not gonna sit here and act like. So I fucking move on him.
Right.
And that was obviously what I had to do, but it was the worst fucking thing I could have did because that obviously brought light to my case, brought light to everything.
Yeah.
And that was it from there.
Right.
I had to move with my back to the wall every fucking where I went because I got moved on by everybody after that.
All the Bloods.
No, everybody. There was no Bloods.
Yeah.
There was no Bloods.
Who's everybody's
No, this was the 90s. There was no Bloods. It was all Hoods. They were just all black kids who thought I was a racist white kid. This was a different time.
Yeah.
This was just like all kids from Charlestown and Southie are racist. They just charged us because of everything that happened in that neighborhood that had anything to do with another race.
Yeah.
Was a civil rights case. And I got jumped in my sleep. It was I'm telling you, it was a dramatic fucking thing. Because for the longest time, Like I had fucking the craziest night terrors
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
Fucking get jumped in my sleep.
Bro, I got
Like,
blanket party and
I
shit.
couldn't sleep.
I got
Like
all
I'm
that, bro,
telling
yeah.
you, they finally, because you couldn't call, you couldn't get no phone calls, you didn't get nothing. You didn't get no visits. You got a 2-minute phone call every week.
Really?
Yeah.
We got 5.
And they started fucking like not even letting me do that.
Yeah.
The staff like got in on it.
Right.
Thinking, oh, there's that fucking.
Oh, so they were
racist
picking on
white
you
boy. Yeah, it was
hardcore,
all
yeah.
black staff.
Yeah.
That was the worst situation I've ever been in my life. And and I'm a kid.
Yeah.
And the scariest situation I've been in because I can't go to nobody.
Really?
Who am I gonna go to?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just had to fucking deal with it. What are you gonna? I mean, whatever. I just had to fight.
And that's your
Fight.
introduction to being in jail.
Every day. Yes, fight,
Yeah.
fight every fucking day. But I'll
So-
tell you what, the one thing it did was get me ready for life, get me ready for prison, make me never ever scared to be in a fight again.
Yeah.
The butterflies went away.
Yeah.
Like anytime I ever had a fucking, you know what, I gotta move on this kid.
Yeah.
I stopped getting butterflies in my stomach.
Yeah.
I just didn't. It just made things easier.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I went to South Bay eventually, when I was old enough,
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
Even though that was a different situation than it is now. That was in the 90s too, when dudes were getting bodied there. Like that was just a whole different.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. So New York, right? All of them in New York right now, there's upheaval. So the prison guards have been on under the spotlight for killing inmates. Not just that dude Robert Brooks, but there's been several different murders on inmates by the guards, right? And people are saying like, you know, the only reason they're going on strike right now is because they got caught. Now it's the heat's on, you know what I mean? And so now the COs are all refusing to work basically. The unions are on
think
strike.
about it. When they govern themselves, it's anarchy.
Yeah.
It's an anarchy between themselves. Because who's gonna? They can just clean it up. They were the Suffolk County Sheriff's Department were the dirtiest. It was scary. I'm gonna be honest. Like you didn't put yourself in a situation where you got put in that elevator with them dudes. Unless you were stupid.
Like a suitcase.
Yes, they suitcased you.
Explain the suitcase.
Listen, I never got suitcase because I wasn't a fucking idiot. Right. But I'll tell you this. I had a cousin that worked there. And now I didn't meet him until I started doing time there. My grandfather and his grandfather were brothers, and they had a falling out. So his part of the family lived in East Boston, and our families never really, had anything to do with each other. So I didn't meet him until I started doing time at South Bay, but I knew he worked there. So now, obviously, his first thing was.
Word. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Word. What's up, bro? Thank you, bro.
That's cool. Now, his first thing was, obviously, it gives me the eye, don't tell anybody. You know what I mean? And, I basically say, you don't have to tell me that, but I get it. You don't know that I'm not an idiot.
Right.
But listen to this. So, Chin,
that's the guy's name.
Yes.
Chin, that's the
So I'm sure you heard of Chin.
Yep. Chin, I heard him.
Chin was working one night. And Billy, my cousin, came in.
Right.
He called me to the desk.
Yeah. Is Billy your cousin now?
Billy's my cousin.
Or is he?
He's a CO.
Okay.
He's a screw.
Yep.
He just retired in May. So
yep.
I'll speak about this. He brought me to the desk.
Yeah.
It said, Chin, this is my cousin.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
I just wanted to introduce you to him.
Yeah.
So, you know what's going on here, right?
Right. So he's telling you basically, don't kill this motherfucker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. He's telling Chin, remember this face. Don't kill this motherfucker.
Yeah. How many times has the guy Chin been known to kill somebody that you know of?
Listen, this guy didn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah.
This guy was the angriest, meanest. No, I can't say there was the dude Melchin. I don't know if anyone in here, if Josh, if you've been there, if you knew the dude. Bova's dead too.
Bova?
Bova died. I knew about the class action suit. I didn't know Bova died.
Okay, word. Yeah.
There was two of them. There was two Anthony Bovas.
Salute to Anthony Bova, fat.
But they were both okay. I knew both of them. One was originally from the North End, and the other one was originally from Malden. The little short one, and the other one was heavy set. They were both short, but anyways, I don't know which. The one who won the class action suit was the short, skinny one. I did time upstate with him.
Word. Word. Good looks, bro. So the next person who comments will get a membership gifted to them. So the next person who comments will get a 1 month gifted membership. So whoever gets that, word. There you go, Josh McDevil.
Yeah.
I think got it.
I live in.
Oh no, James McKeon. James McKeon.
I live
got
in
it.
Malden right now. But so the dude Melchin was the fucking. He used to wear. He was this tall fucking dude, had like slick back, spiky hair, and he was about 6'4", and he wore fucking combat boots that were like up to his fucking. Like the dude, like straight up thought he was like fucking Hitler, dude.
Yeah.
And he would just fucking go around like fucking. Like you would have to be on your toe, like because basically he could do whatever he wanted. Like, what are you gonna
Word.
do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're gonna back him up. They're gonna back his play, and then whatever happens, however it gets written up, whoever has to sign off on that is gonna back that play.
Word.
So nobody's gonna jump in and help you.
No.
No, not Chin from Nash. Chin from South Bay. He became a lieutenant later in the
country.
Later in the towards like the 2000s, but during like the 90s and early 2000s, you'd still see him. Then they put him on the overnight and gave him a white shirt, and you
They gave him a
wouldn't.
white shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
So he murders a bunch of people.
You wouldn't see him much. Yeah, it's crazy because, dude, they were actually like going out. There's like stories of them like even like taking dudes out on the street.
Yeah.
It's just so.
I walk by there every single day.
Like, but this was like way before the, methadone miles shit. And
Right.
last time I was there, they jumped the fucking. Remember they locked South Bay down.
Right.
Because they jumped the cop outside.
You know what's crazy is that methadone mile, like you guys are
So
in the
crazy.
bay, you can look out the
Yeah.
windows and just see everybody right out there.
Hi, Pat. I watched.
Hey, what's up, Pat? How you doing?
I watched. What's it called? I watched some naked dude. Chris McGrath. I watched some naked dude walk up Atkinson Street all the way to the front, and the cops, the screws, the K9 dude, had to stop him, butt naked. He didn't have no clothes with him, nothing. I don't know where he ditched his clothes. It was a
Word.
black dude, completely ass naked. I was a new man,
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck? But I've been down there, so it's not even like I've been down there, like just like chilling, like this is where I'm at.
Where?
This is my life.
Yo, you're stupid
You know what I
shit,
mean?
John.
This is
John,
my
yeah.
life. This is life. You know what I'm saying? But I've been down there and like had to leave because like they wanted my ass.
They wanted you.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Hopefully you don't
saying?
mean it like that.
No, I don't mean it like that. I mean like they want to. Some motherfuckers want to put me.
They want
6
to
feet
get
under.
with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I'll get down there and I'm like, hey, I'm getting high. Where else are you gonna get money?
Where?
You know what I mean? How else are you gonna hustle? I ain't doing what that meth motherfuckers do. So, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
You got it in your pocket. I'm getting it. And
Right.
the only one way the only fucking weapon I got is this right hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I do. Hey, what do you got?
Mm.
Bang.
If you're sleeping, you can't fucking shoot
Bang.
me anyways. You know what I
I'm
mean?
saying?
That's
That's
all
what I
I
would
need.
do. And this motherfucker, he's dead now. That fucking kid Shane Stilton.
Mm.
I'm like, yo, we were downtown,
Yeah.
like by where Christie's used to be.
Yeah.
Yo, just get one of these. And I had just robbed someone. This is how I ran into him.
Yeah.
I was in New Hope with him,
Yeah.
and I called my guy, and no, I didn't call him. He didn't have a number. I just went down to Copley, was where I used to see him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's up? He might have had a phone at the time. I might have texted him.
Yeah.
I forget how it went.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, I had no money. I'm like, hey, I need like can I get like 7 for 100? So you throw something weird out there that makes him think that. I mean, 7 for 200.
Yeah.
That he might have the money, but
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah. And he had what the fuck you call it when the person has it doesn't have it in the bag but just has it in the rock?
Like loose?
Josh, what do they call that? I forget. It's been a while since I
Chums?
smoked a pipe. No. They have a name for it. You would
Yums?
know if you're not down there. You keep guessing, but you're not gonna
Yeah.
guess because you
Yeah.
haven't been down there. Thing rock. They call it something rock. What's that called, Josh? Drop rock.
Yeah.
So we had drop rock. Thank you, Josh. I knew you'd know it.
Okay.
He's like, I got drop rock. I'm like, fine. So just give me $200 worth. And he pulled it out, and I just hammered him.
The
Yeah.
rocks go flying.
Yeah. And I'm like, fucking, boom, pick it up. Pick that shit up. Dude's knocked out.
Yeah.
And he had a stem. He had a fucking stem that had more. I'm telling you, I fucking scraped this thing for like 2 fucking days. He must have been hitting this thing for like 2 fucking weeks. The stem was like this long, and the thing was just like caked. And it was crazy how much there was more res in that stem than what I got.
Yeah. No disrespect, but I don't want to glorify. No
Right.
shit, bro.
So
That shit's
anyways,
not for me.
I'm like, all right, pick up whatever fucking, and he's like, me. So I thought dudes were stepping to me. So I'm like, what's up?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's me, fucking Shane from New Health, dude. I don't want, and there was another dude with him that almost tried to step. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what's up? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you think I'm fucking doing? What do you think? It's part of the game, bro.
Yeah.
You want some? He's like, nah, fucking. So I'm like, we did what we did, and we go downtown. I'm like, just get someone. I don't care. Oh, they'll shoot. I'm like, I don't care. They
Yeah.
don't know who I am unless you tell me. Unless you tell them, bro.
Right.
And it turned into a situation where like he was just scared because his name was tied to it, and he ended up sending me like the wrong person.
Right.
The wrong person. He ended up sending me a chick. Like he's like, yeah, all right. And I go in the thing, and it was a chick, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it was an ugly, like who the girl was. It was a big problem. But anyways, that was a whole thing. And like, I had to like really like, that was a whole situation because of who the girl was.
It always is, bro.
Who the girl was related to. Like, I'm telling you, like the girl was related to somebody that was, it was a real problem. That kid started a real fucking problem because he was a bitch. But
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
But anyways,
bro.
you know what?
Appreciate that.
Sometimes you get caught up talking nonsense, but none of that is.
Yeah, absolutely,
You
bro.
know
I mean, we
what,
got new lives and shit. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, bro? I appreciate that fire. Hell yeah.
None of that is.
We went live tonight, man. We've been going for fucking 2 hours now.
Have we?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. It's 7:30.
Shit.
But I
But,
I was going for a little bit before you
Life
got
is not about any of that today. Life is about positivity, family,
Yeah.
connection,
Recovering, man.
all of
Building.
Yes.
You know, making
Overcoming
networks and
obstacles.
connections.
Yes,
How about
yes.
growing this channel,
Connections.
growing this platform to something big, you know,
We're trying to
and
do that.
crazy.
We're trying to do that. We need to share. We need to
Yeah.
comment, share. People, you know, hey,
Come on, guys. You
what
can't
gotta
picture it, right? Us chilling here, but with hundreds of people in the
Trying to
chat.
blow that
Everybody's going back and forth.
It's
We're
big.
all having a good time getting the
How
questions
long ago
going and
was it?
shit.
It's time flies, but
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. 10 years ago, we were in the cell together.
Yeah. We were just
We
sitting
were
in
in
a
the cell
block
together.
on a prison
We
cell.
were in the
Like
cell
this
together.
is such a big step up from
We were
that.
cellmates in the hole.
Word. Yep. Cellmates in the box. I mean, you were cellmates with my brother in the box.
I was cellmates with you too.
You were cellmates with me?
up in M3, L3. No,
M3?
no. What's the at the third floor? Yeah, because I had a package, dude.
Yeah.
And then I was leaving. You were like, give me some more. I'm like, all right, yeah.
I mean, I've been in the
But-
block with you a million times.
No,
but I just don't
we
even
were
remember
cellmates
them.
in the
What year was
in the
that?
hole, but it was
Oh, word. Good looks, bro.
it
Good
was
looks,
on
Parker.
it was on the gray side hole.
Gray side hole.
Yeah, so not M3, L3.
Getting high together. and shit.
L3. Yeah, I had a package.
Thank you,
I had a
bro.
package, and we were busting off.
Thank you, Lynn. Hell yeah.
But,
Watching us
yeah.
living life is beautiful.
I was cellmates with him, with his brother. Me and his
Yup.
brother. He caught a DDU ticket. We moved in some kid. He didn't have to get all crazy.
Yeah. Yo, that's right. You and my brother caught a DDU ticket
After
together.
10 days, no, I caught a regular ticket. This meathead caught a
Ryan got the DDU ticket.
Yeah.
What happened? Let's talk about
After
that.
10 days, I went to pop.
Yeah.
I know how to. He was just. I'm like, listen, if you don't have to, I don't even want you to jump. He insisted.
Yeah.
I moved from the hole down to L1,
Right.
and I kept getting lugged, and I was getting mad that they kept moving me from doing my seg time down to L1, which was another segregation type block.
Right.
So I had told the administration, if you do it again, there's always somebody down there to move on,
Right.
and I'm gonna move on somebody. So the kid fucking Hanrahan was down there,
Right. Brian
and,
Hanrahan.
and I was just in P1,
Yup.
and he had just pulled a stunt, owing a bunch of money, and he fucking sucked Richie Prada, and Rich Prada was my buddy. Prada still doesn't even realize to this day that that was part of the reason I did it, and I've never sought him out and said, hey, I did this for you. You need to. But so I just did it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm taking this kid out. And he was like, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it with you. I'm like, so if we do it, then we got to do it right.
Right.
So you're definitely stronger than me. So I'm going to go in there. I got to do it first because it's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in there, move on him, and then just get behind him, put him in a full Nelson, and I'll just speed bag his face.
Right.
And his face will look like the Elephant Man.
Yeah.
If we move on this kid, he's got to look.
Yeah.
Ryan's
Ryan's a pro fighter.
We got to make his face look unrecognizable, or he's got to go to an outside hospital.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
But Ryan
Can't be too savage.
But Ryan just tried to take over the fight, and then started trying to bounce him through the fucking floor, and that was it. And the kid went under the table and curled up in a ball.
Yeah.
And
who was it? The kid?
Brian Hanrahan.
Oh, Brian Hanrahan. Yeah. I know Brian. Damn, I liked Brian. I didn't mind Brian.
He wasn't a bad kid, but he pulled a stunt. He pulled a fucking PC.
I remember that too.
He pulled a PC.
I remember when that happened.
He owed mad money.
Yeah.
And then he fucking sucked someone who was a good guy that
he
didn't really have a problem with. That's a fucking stunt.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's
where I
how
come
prison
from,
politics goes.
Yeah. So
Fact.
what had to happen had to happen.
Right.
I don't have any serious issue with the kid.
Right.
What had to happen had to happen. If I seen him today, I'd fucking be like, hey, what's up? You pulled the stunt, but I had to do what I had to do.
Right. If you guys like this style of live, where we're just kicking it and having conversations like this, please leave that in the chat. We could do long lives like this where we sit and we have conversations and we just converse and go back and forth with the chat and tell stories. I mean, we could do this all the time. I was thinking about doing a marathon. Hell yeah. Right? Okay. Who's the toughest dude in the max? Who do you think? I think Danny Brunell. Danny Brunell was a tough
when
prick.
Danny was at his, when he wasn't hurt, before he got hurt.
Yeah.
When he was at his prime.
Yeah.
Danny was fucking tough.
Danny was he punched his kid in the arm and snapped his arm in
Danny
half.
will break
Your ball.
something.
Every time.
I remember he beat up the kid Bugsy.
Word.
He broke his face.
Word.
Every punch he threw broke something. He's not somebody you want to get hit by. But I don't know if he's the toughest. There were some tough black dudes. You know what I mean? There was
Yeah.
some tough black dudes.
There was some tough black dudes. Easy, Turtle,
What's his face? Tank.
Tank.
The kid that Aaron Hernandez fought.
Yeah, he was one of the toughest kids in there. I said that
They
too.
sent Tank. I seen Tank fight. I seen these kids fight.
Yeah.
I've seen each and every one of them fight throughout
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah,
Because I've known them.
Yeah.
And you've seen people get hurt.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like
When you see a fight in the max, it's a good possibility that one of these people is going to end up in the hospital.
well, in Walpole, what they used to do was exit the block.
Right. They would
First.
they'd close the door too.
The cops are leaving
Word.
first. Then they're going in the hallway, reconvening, having a conversation, and then they come in whenever they feel like it.
Yeah.
So if you get in a fight in the max, I mean in Walpole back when, and I'm sure that was still what they did. That was still the procedure,
Yeah.
even when it was classification. You better have some lungs on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've seen some good ones. I've been in some good ones where, like, you know what, and you just put people away, and then it's like, you know what, go to my cell and wash the blood off. I've almost thought I was gonna get away.
Remember, we used to have the squads that come around and clean for us. We get into a fight and it's a bad fight. You get the mop guys.
They would
They
be
come with the
dudes
mop and the cleaning solution and shit and clean up the cell.
the biohazard guys.
The bio guys, yo.
They get paid.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Them guys got paid for cleaning up bodily fluids.
Not just bodily, but like poop.
They would send the
Pee.
Fed guys in, but
Yeah.
they would send like a Colombian in or some type of wetback into one of them like guys that had some type of crazy, probably got caught with fucking 1,000 kilos of fucking
Yeah.
cocaine from the Fed block. And like if we did something ripped out or something and we
Yeah.
didn't want somebody cleaning the block, they'd send when a convict wouldn't do it, they would send someone from the Fed block to do it.
Fact.
And then would start firing shit at them.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out
Dude,
of
I
here.
remember one time, Mac. Remember old man Mac? He was from Worcester, white guy. He was a laundry guy, but he used to work in the tier in the hole, right? During double
Yeah,
bunking.
Larry.
Yup, Larry. Mac something.
Larry McGuire.
Whatever his name was. dude,
Yes,
but
yes, I
he
did.
fucking worked in the laundry for a long
Larry
time.
Mack.
He
Larry
used
Mack.
to do good laundry. Like he folded your laundry, bleached it, and it came back.
That was
looking
Mikey
mint.
Sullivan was the same way.
Yeah, I love doing
Mikey
the laundry. The
Sullivan was
laundry
the
was
same
a
way.
big hustle. Like you said,
Oh, yeah.
I sent
Oh,
5
yeah.
stamps every
That's
twice
a
a
big
week.
hustle.
I send a book of stamps, right? And twice a
All
week,
you
my
gotta do
laundry
is
would
just
come back folded,
fold.
mentally
Yeah.
bleached, pressed,
that's
all
anywhere.
that, right?
That's anywhere.
Yeah.
Even in the House of Correction.
Yeah,
Anywhere. The laundry guy. And I always like was smart enough to know, like, I'm not getting my look at people getting their clothes just thrown back. Like,
Yeah. no
you
way.
take care of the laundry guy,
Yeah.
your shit comes back
Yeah.
first, your shit comes back
Yeah.
folded. You learn that shit early.
Yeah,
Like this shit.
some
like,
people didn't go
you-
through that.
you
Most
go
people
in,
didn't.
That's because some people just
It was only specific
just
guys,
go
like
through
the
doing
top
time,
tier guys,
and they
you know
don't
what I mean?
fucking learn. They don't
Yeah.
learn nothing.
It was
You-
top tier
you
old
have
school
to
cons
learn.
that paid the laundry guys
Right.
to get their laundry
You,
stuff.
you gotta learn shit as you're doing time.
Word.
You don't just go in and just let time pass
Nah.
and then, hey, your time's over. You gotta learn how to do things comfortably,
Fact.
as comfortable as possible. You want clean clothes. You want to fold it. You don't want to wait till the end of the day. You don't want them all thrown together with a bunch of fucking dirty fucking pigeon rat fucking Vikings. You know what I mean? You want it done by itself. Oh shit, it's raining. You know what I mean? Like there's ways to do time that are like
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
science, bro.
it is. And
It's a
it's
science.
not that hard to figure out,
No, it's not.
you know. You
But
just-
it is kind of hard because
you
at
just
first,
watch.
this is the thing that gets in
It
the way
takes
is
some
your ego,
observing.
right? When you
Observe.
first come in, you want to make a reputation, you want to be seen, you want motherfuckers to know your name. So you're bucking the system, you're going against
Not
the
everybody
cops.
does that though.
No, not everybody does, but I did it.
that. Yes,
I
but
did
not-
it. I
that's how
fought the
you
cops.
do
I
it.
fought the system. I fought the double bunkings. I was in every movement that they had. Anytime someone's gonna fucking go do something like, oh, let's not stand for count. Let's not give our tray back. I'm one of them.
I got
you know
so
what I mean?
tired of
Yeah. But then
being
later
the
on,
only guy.
it's easier to
When you realize
drive.
that not everybody's gonna do it,
Right.
and you're getting all fucking riled up,
Yup.
and you're the only one who's gonna go all the way,
Yup.
and you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck
Yeah.
it. It took a long time to realize, and you're getting riled up about every single fucking thing.
Yup. Framingham, they make you put it in your bag, tie it, and they bring it back. But I had my laundry correct. And being from Seatown
That's
has
right.
its advantages.
That's
Why do you
right.
guys think you're like the center of the fucking world? You guys all think you're the shit.
Because we are.
Charlestown. Boo.
We are.
Nah, I'm just playing. Oh, what is it? How do it?
Oh, you gotta put it like that. Oh, you gotta.
Yeah,
It's like nasal.
it's
You
a
gotta put
nasal.
the-
Oh.
And
Oh.
if you're not from there, you can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I do it because all
Oh.
my friends are from Charlestown, so every time they see me, it's like, oh, like I'm gonna do it right back. But I'm from the Cape. It's like, all right, oh, I'll do it. We'll
But
play.
it's
We'll
not
play
just,
that game.
it's just a homeboy thing.
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
It's supposed to mean, HAW.
Yeah.
Help a white
Help a white.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of
when
here.
you're in trouble. Oh,
Help a white. All right.
help a white.
Charlestown. Help a white. That's their call. That's the native call in Charlestown. Oh,
Help a
that's
white.
great. I never knew that. Yeah.
I'm gonna get home.
You got to get home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a good night tonight, guys. I appreciate everybody for showing up. Anybody who supported the channel tonight, anybody who dropped a super chat, you got a couple more seconds to drop another super chat if you would have liked to do that. Again, everybody who showed up tonight, John, the W Number podcast, it is on and popping. I want to do a live marathon.
My
Like- Let's get it.
my what you call thing is in there. My YouTube.
Your YouTube. So go do this right now. Go on your thing. Go to this live. Drop a comment.
I did.
Drop a comment right now again. And then I'm going to use that comment. I'm going to put it up on here and I'm going to go to that thing and I'm going to subscribe that way. Right here we are. Boom. You're a member. So it shows up like this. Hard Time, Real Talk from Prison to Fatherhood. This is John's channel. So anybody watching, you can go and subscribe to that. And then this is the Instagram, correct?
That's right.
That's his Instagram right there. So anybody want to go subscribe to his Instagram,
Please do.
go there.
Please give
Um,
a follow.
We're gonna be on this live marathon shit, bro. Like I'm gonna come on here. We're just gonna go live marathoning, dude. Like let's get as many people to watch the W Number live broadcast as possible. It's always gonna be lit. I'm never gonna come on here and just do something dumb and have you guys picking your nose. You know what I mean? You guys are gonna be entertained.
Thank
You're
you,
gonna
Josh.
fucking have a good time. Solid people always, solid stories always. Come on, let's get this shit. Like, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. You already know. Great job. Thank you, Josh, man. All right, man. I'm gonna call it. Appreciate it. I hate leaving with all you guys still here, and definitely turn your notifications on. Hit that notification bell. Oh, and these are the kicks. These are the ones you just
I
won?
didn't just win these, but these are just heat.
These are the ones you're giving me right now.
No.
Look at that. He's giving me these news. What?
No, that's just.
You're
heat.
reneging live?
Is your hands not? Are they not burning?
No, they're
It's
not.
not
They
hot.
feel good.
It doesn't feel.
That
hot.
must mean that they're meant to be.
No.
They're
You
nice.
see these?
Those are nice.
These are off-white. Jordan.
Lloyd
5.
Christmas. You're stupid. Fuck you. Yo, Lloyd Christmas. Fuck you, dude. K Razy, what up? She subbed to both. How much? How much, Flacco said?
Let the Aussies know. The whole. Let the whole friggin' continent know. Oh,
All right, guys. W Number. Oh,
New
we
Zealand.
getting out of here, boys. If you want to drop another super chat, this is your last chance, fellas. 10, 9, 8, 7. Drop that super chat or go to heaven. We out. W Number. Ow.